Good evening, everybody. You are watching a live broadcast of Moorpark Raiders football, brought to you live by SoCal College Sports. Hello, everybody, and a happy good evening to you all wherever you are watching from. It's the biggest game of the year for Raiders and Pirates fans everywhere. The 55th edition of the Citrus Cup is here. Ventura currently holds the record, 33 wins to 21 wins of the Raiders, and the pride of Ventura County hangs in the balance as we await kickoff. Hello, everybody. I'm Emery Johnson alongside Luke Lamont, and joining us from abroad, well, down the freeway, is Jeffrey Stoynoff from the Ventura County Sports Network, and I'm happy to announce Jeff's name as he's a partner here at SoCal College Sports. So, the Raiders are reeling after a tough shootout loss to the Bulldogs of Allen Hancock College in the WSC North. It hangs in the balance right now, and the Raiders really need to do something to step up here, specifically in the 55th anniversary of the Citrus Cup. Luke, let's recap the Raiders season so far, and then after that we're going to talk about the Ventura season just in a little bit of a mute point here.
We'll start with most recently that loss to Allen Hancock, 17-10, a really tough defensive, gritty game. Moorpark's lone touchdown came with 6 minutes left, and it was a 62-yard strike to Noah Cronquist, the star receiver of the Raiders. And the defense was fantastic in the second half for the Raiders. They gave their offense a lot of chances. Tonight, if that's going to change, they need to capitalize on that. But the Raiders' season overall has been about opportunities. I mean, they're a really streaky team this year. They started with a disappointing loss to Palomar. Then they went on a 2-game win streak with impressive wins over Orange Coast and Mount San Jacinto. And then against El Camino, things started to go on the downturn, and it continued last week against Allen Hancock. And they're 0-2 in conference. So this, as you said, hangs in the balance. This is a very important game for Moorpark.
And that goes for both teams. Jeff, if I can have you key in here a little bit, can you just shortly recap what the Ventura College football team's season has been so far?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a Pirate team that is on the ascendancy, to be sure. Some struggles out of the gate. They go on the road in week 1. They get a back-and-forth win at Saddleback, a 5-point win to get off to a good start. But then they really stumbled the next couple of weeks with bad losses. They were beaten one-sidedly by Mount San Antonio College up in Ventura. And then the next week, a true rarity, 2 losses in a row at home for the Pirates as they fall in a heartbreaker by 4 to visiting Cerritos College. But since that point, the Pirates have really started to get it together. It really came with a dramatic fourth-quarter comeback at Allen Hancock. They were down 9, but got a couple of late touchdowns to escape with a 4-point win, get themselves off on a winning streak here to start conference play. And then last week, it all came together in a big performance at home against Santa Barbara. They get off the schneid at home with a big win, 56-25. So they're 2-0 in conference, and they're right where they want to be, but they desperately want to keep it going here tonight. Don't want to stumble after they finally have themselves on the right track.
Jeff, that's just such a good recap, and that brings up a couple points here. The Raiders and Santa Barbara City College, 2 of the promotion teams from last year that came into the WSC North. That was obviously a huge statement win for Ventura College to come and be one of the teams that has been promoted. And think about the way that this season can go. If Ventura can, do something against Moorpark tonight, that's going to bode very well for their hopes to make the playoffs this season, especially with how the RPI rules work in the playoff and how that works. Jeff, I'm going to switch over to your analysis of Ventura College offense so far this season. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. Tell us, what is the offense that Ventura College is going to bring to tonight's game? A couple questions obviously coming into this game about identity, at least last year. Last year it was, the team kind of just tried to figure out which quarterback they're going to play as the season went on. The running backs were always solid. What do we have to expect from the Pirate offense to begin this game?
Yeah, well, last season was a tough season out of the gate. Braden Siri brought in to play the quarterback position. He struggled with some injuries, also struggled at times with the offense and with his play. And then Samuel Marquez, who emerged as one of the backups, not even the primary backup, really came on to save that season, completing over 60% of his passes. The Pirates win their last 3 regular season games to sneak into the playoffs, and then they really hung around at Riverside. So the Pirates really pulled that season out of the fire and managed to make the playoffs. But anyway, let's return to this season.
Yeah.
Samuel Marquez is back, but is being held out. He is a red shirt for this season. So the Pirates are back to square one at the quarterback position. They bring in 2 D1 bounce backs, Chris Irvin and Daniel Duran. Both played throughout the season, both have played. But Chris Irvin the last couple of weeks has been ridiculous, given a couple of starts, and has really taken over that job, completing 80% of his passes for 600 yards over the last 2 weeks and 7 touchdowns. And right now, you got to figure it's Chris Irvin's job, but Daniel Duran is in the fold. He has played well when he has had the opportunity. In fact, Duran really played, in all respects, better in the first few weeks than Chris Irvin, but Irvin has emerged the last couple of weeks. So Duran will be part of it. But the Pirates, first and foremost this season, they're going to run the football. They have a very talented and experienced offensive line, 3 returning sophomores, including last year's all-conference guard, Julio Ray, a D1 bounce back in Donald Dixon at left tackle. It is a very talented offensive line. They have allowed just 1 sack this season in the first 5 games, but that's only part of the story. The Pirates are also averaging just under 6 yards a carry as a team, almost 220 yards per game on the ground. That's the Pirates' calling card. It really always is, despite the passing numbers. They always have very talented and very big offensive lines. They want to run the ball, and this year they have the line to do it. Lamont James and Jalen Thompson, both outstanding. They are both on pace for 900 yards plus as it stands right now on the ground. So the Pirates, they're going to go right after the Raiders running the football. That you can be sure of with James and Thompson.
Now, Jeff, I couldn't ask for a better recap. We talked about it in the pregame prior to going live, and I mean, gosh, that just adds so much more context to what's going on with Ventura this year. Luke, I'm going to switch it over to you really quick. Let's wrap up the Raiders offense. They've been streaky in sometimes, and that's what you mentioned before, but we have a couple really bright stars in this offense. Let's talk about them for a second here.
Yeah, I mean, the brightest of all, Noah Cronquist, the best wide receiver on the team. He really is the leader of that offense. He's the reason they've put up so many points in certain games. He leads the team in receiving this season, just shy of 500 yards. He's 19 yards away with that. He's definitely hoping to get that tonight. He leads the team in receiving touchdowns with 6. He is the guy that Moorpark needs to get the ball to if they're going to have a chance in this game and stick it close with the Pirates. And the run game really needs to be something Moorpark can't abandon entirely. It's been very not great, to say the least, this season. They only have 41 rushing yards per game. That's not what you want to see. It really makes your offense one-dimensional, and that's one thing from Moorpark is their offensive line needs to be able to protect Croton and understand that if you're one-dimensional, Ventura is going to be tuning up that pass rush. So you really got to make sure you get the ball quick. Don't force it downfield. You need to take those short throws, get Croton some confidence, and you need to take what Ventura gives you and don't force turnovers. You need to play smart football and play your game, which is keep the ball in the air.
Now, like we said, Moorpark College has their moments. It just seems like mitigating the mistakes that they make in the field has always been the key to success for the Raiders offense. It's a matter of whether or not they can be better than the defense that Ventura brings out, but really beating themselves is the biggest part. Jeff, that brings us to the next part of the conversation. The Raiders are going to be fighting against this Pirates defense. What does the defense bring to the table? It's a little bit different this year for the Pirates, probably a little bit more different than they would like it to be.
Well, there is some good news for Raider fans. You talked about some of the struggles for the Raiders running the football. Unfortunately for Pirate fans, that has been not the case against the Pirates so far this season for their opponents. Their opponents are averaging over 200 yards a game on the ground, 5.5 yards per carry. Obviously, that has been a real concern for the Pirates. They have started to shore that up the last couple of weeks with the last couple of wins, but it has been a season-long struggle. The Pirates, a lot of turnover on the defensive side of the ball. Just a couple of returning players on the defense. Pretty solid on the outside with Jalen Wesley and Jalen Blizzard, but a lot of turnover in that defensive backfield. Tyrus Maliatufa really quarterbacks this defense from a safety spot. He has battled injury this season. He's only appeared in 2 games. They are hoping to have him back, but the Pirates have shuffled in a lot of bodies in that defensive secondary and really throughout the defense, and that has told the tale as much as anything this season. But again, they are hoping that they are turning the corner here and getting themselves going as this season goes on.
Luke? Same question. I hate to throw it back so directly. Jeff, thank you so much. It gives me a little bit more confidence here as a Raiders fan. But Luke, tell me about the Raiders defense. How are they going to stop the Pirates offense in tonight's game?
Well, it's going to be won or lost by the front seven of the Raiders. I mean, we've talked about him every single game this season, specifically that defensive line led by Peyton Casillas. I mean, he leads the team with 6 sacks. So you want to have your best pass rusher be able to rush the passers. So the key is you got to stop the run. That's the first game plan for Moorpark. You have to force Ventura to pass. Irvin's done a great job throughout this season. He's got 8 touchdowns on the season, but the key for Moorpark is to force Lamont James off the field. You don't want him on the field at all, neither Jalen Thompson. You want to make it to where Irvin's passing the ball a lot so you can key in and let your pass rushers free. Really just unhinge them and let them go after the quarterback. And you have to limit the big plays. I mean, you have to limit your secondary giving up big plays, so guys like Curtis Jackson need to do well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Pirates. It's going to be Raiders here at Griffin Stadium. Don't go anywhere. The 55th anniversary and edition of the Citrus Cup hangs in the balance. Kickoff is just right away. You're watching Raiders football on SoCal College Sports. Well, ladies and gentlemen, kickoff is almost here, the 55th anniversary of the Citrus Cup as we are getting underway. And the Raiders have won the coin toss. They have elected to return the football in the second half. So they are to kick off now. And it looks like Mike Hargo is going to be out to return the football. There's a number of players who actually have been returners so far this season for the Pirates, and it's just a matter of who ends up getting the football. But we're going to have it go deep to the 5-yard line. This kick is fielded, and it's coming back to about the 15, and a big special teams play for the Raiders here, as is the football out, and the Raiders are saying that they have the football. We're going to have a replay of it here in a second. But highly possible that the Raiders have recovered the football after it coming out here in the special teams, and it is. It's out on the ground, and I think the Raiders have recovered it, so the Raiders offense will start with the football to start this first quarter, and my goodness, a huge start to the game for the Raiders special teams unit. Luke, we talked about it a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but special teams has really been a big point for the Raiders as they have executed the game really well.
It really has been a big point. I mean, they do a great job at flying down on kick return and limiting big returns. And as we see, starting field position, which no clear sign from the officials, really.
Well, there's going to be a foul for the Pirates, and I see the Pirates offense back out on the field, and I don't understand that. That football was clearly out in our replay.
Well, they must have called the recovery for Ventura.
Yeah, I guess the Ventura has recovered the football. Maybe a little bit of an early celebration for the Raiders. Nonetheless, they're starting with really, really bad field position here. So the Pirates will get started from their own 7-yard line, mark that 8-yard line, and we are underway as they hand it off here on the first drive. This football goes off to Jalen Thompson as he will carry it forward for maybe a yard. And well, we were warned by Jeff Stoynoff earlier on in the pregame that they're going to try and run the football, and that's exactly what they have started the first play of the game off as we are at 4:30 ticking down. Shotgun formation. Handoff again, this one coming up the middle, met by a couple blockers in the way, and the Raiders able to stop the football after a gain of maybe 4 yards all the way up to the 13-yard line. So a third down situation coming up for the Pirates, and the Raiders defense with a chance to stop this football from going any farther forward on the first drive of the game for the Pirates.
And Moorpark's got to be disciplined here. You got to watch the football. It's only 3rd down and 5. I know Ventura would like to run it on a 3rd down and short.
Irvin in the gun. Stepping back and looking to throw deep here on his 3rd throw of the game. And this football's caught down the left sideline, and a long reception for the Pirates. And they are quickly out of the 3rd down situation as Tiandre Newcomb is able to reel in his longest catch of the season. My goodness, a big first down, and the Pirates able to return the favor to the Raiders defense down to the 19-yard line of the Raiders.
Well, that was one of the things we talked about. The secondary of Moorpark has to limit those big plays, and already on the first drive, terrible field position for the Pirates. Now they're in the red zone.
Irvin out of the gun, does the toss over to Thompson. Thompson hit once, and he's going to be chopped down around the 12-yard line. We'll see where they mark him just shy of the first down. He is stopped at the 12. That's where they'll mark it. So 2nd and 2 coming up, and the Pirates already deep within the red zone and potentially to score here on their first drive after almost being stopped in their first drive. 13:09 on the clock coming down. In the pistol formation is Irvin. He's got his back directly behind him. That's Thompson. He has 2 receivers to his left and stacked receivers out to the right. They hand it off. This is a run to the left side, and hit back at the line of scrimmage is going to be Thompson. He's going to go nowhere, and that will be back up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 2 now coming up.
A great stop there by Nico Neres, and Peyton Casillas getting the inside look. And this 3rd down, I mean, the passing game for Ventura so far, one big play. You can't really judge it off of that. But the run game has been solid enough for Ventura that you can't rule it out here. We know they're a run-heavy team. Expect something to the outside.
4 receiver spread for Irvin. Irvin looking to throw towards the edge of the end zone on the right side, and that's going to be incomplete, broken up by, I believe, Burton Placide. He's been a playmaker all season for the Raiders. And 4th down is the situation, and the Ventura Pirates will keep their offense out on the field. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They're on the left hash now. 12:31 ticking down, and here comes the shotgun snap to Irvin, and tries to get the Raiders to jump offside, and there's the flag. So they'll have a fresh set of downs. Pass incomplete out towards the left side of the end zone, and that will be an unfortunate 4th down conversion in the worst way possible. So the 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the line of scrimmage, moving the football up to the 7-yard line, and they'll have a new set of downs and goal from the 7.
One of the biggest things in every single rivalry game, no matter what teams it may be, penalties are always a key factor in that game. Moorpark can't let this like snowball or rack up. It's only one penalty. It is a big one on 4th down, but you got to maintain discipline. And you got to know from now on that hard count's going to be coming.
From the gun with a man in motion looking to toss it, and he does, hands it off, and there's going to be a runner from the right side, and he gets into the end zone. I believe it was Matthew Carpentino, and he's going to be, well, there's going to be flags potentially for a hold on the right side. Let's see who it actually is carrying the football. And it's Drew Lopez who had the football, and there's going to be a hold, yeah, completely, and a block after the end of the play if you look there at the bottom of your screen. So this will back the football up.
A little too much extra there from the Ventura receiver blocking Placide out of bounds.
Well, and that's why I think he actually was able to get the edge, because it looks like the linebackers of the Raiders were able to get into position.
It's not often that a defender's back is turned towards the line of scrimmage, and it's not going to end up being a holding call.
No. So the referees sorting out the laundry on the field.
There was an unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Pirates.
Yeah, that was for the block that went out of bounds here on the near side. 12:19 on the clock left to go here in the first quarter.
But the touchdown does stand as it was, I assume, after the play.
I suppose, but it definitely looked like a hold there on the near side. Hard to call. Well, out to kick the extra point is Ryan Pimentel. He is 17 for 19 on extra points so far this season, 3 for 5 in the field.
Ryan Pimentel in to attempt the extra point.
Extra point is up and good. So the 7-0 lead will be taken by the Pirates with 12:19 left to go on the clock here in the first quarter, and a solid first drive, but the Raiders defense had a couple of moments here that they could have really stopped it up. Luke, what do you think the Raiders need to do to kind of mitigate those problems?
I mean, all they have to do is stay over top on coverage. I mean, it was 3rd down and long for Ventura, and you let up a play that gets you all the way inside the red zone deep on the pass. It's just the only thing that really Moorpark has to look back on that drive is you have to stop that play, because you get great field position defensively, you give up that, and then obviously the 4th down penalty, that needs to be wiped away as soon as it can by the coaching staff and players. But they have a lot to look forward to and be confident about going into this game still. I wouldn't feel all down in the dumps just because of that first drive.
Yeah, I think the first drive wasn't the way that you wanted it to end. Points are obviously on the board, but defensively there was a couple really good moments there. They could have stopped that at any moment. And I think if you clean up a few things, exactly what you said, Luke, could be cleared away. So the penalty will be enforced on the kickoff from the 20-yard line, and that leaves Evans and Cronquist standing around the 25. We'll see where the kick goes from Ventura. This one a short one around the 25-yard line, and it looks like Cronquist is going to be returning. No, it's Mikey Holland. Mikey Holland returning it all the way to the far sideline, over to the 30-yard line, up to the 35, all the way to the 40, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds around the 42. So a big return for the Raiders, at least giving them field position around midfield. And we will see the offense of the Raiders come out onto the field, led by McLeod Croughton.
Well, first we'll see if this holds up. A penalty flag thrown at the 50-yard line.
So Laundry on the field. It's going to be out of view from our camera. We will see the football returning back to roughly the 25-yard line, which is not the way that the Raiders wanted this to go after getting the penalty on the kickoff. So from the 28-yard line, Croton will have his offense out on the field, and the official call is an illegal blindside block. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The Raiders will take over 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Bunch formation on the left side. Handoff. This one coming near side. It's Charlie Simmons trying to find the edge, and he barely does get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gains a yard out of it up to the 29.
Very creative play design for the first call of the game. You send Cronquist in motion into the backfield. You fake the inside handoff to him, and then just toss it back to Simmons. I mean, it was good enough blocking on the edge, but very good pursuit by the Pirates. Nowhere to go.
Raider with bunched 3 receivers on the right side. They're on the left hash now. 1 receiver lone on the near side. Pistol formation. Croton hands it off again. They're coming near side, and here comes a long run from Cronquist, and he's going to be hit out of bounds, and here comes the penalty markers.
Oh, we're going to get a couple more flags here. We have a Ventura player who was up in the face of head coach Mike Stewart.
That's not a guy I would want to be in the face of.
No.
Mike Stewart, just so you know, he's like 6'5", weighs about, I don't know, a good like 250, totally muscular, ex-football player himself.
Yeah, that was and on the late hit as well, that was Jalen Blizzard, the sophomore defensive back for the Pirates.
Yeah, and another point here for the Raiders is, the Raiders could be positive about, is Ventura doesn't have many guys on their defensive depth chart. I'm looking at it; it's very, very sparse. They don't have a lot of players on their roster in total. So, you know, Ventura needs to be very careful on how they manage their penalties. Here comes from the 45-yard line of the Pirates here. Man in motion for now. The Raiders. Cronquist in motion again, coming towards the outside. Croton throwing quick here on first down. Running forward is Charlie Simmons, and he's able to move up forward quite a bit.
This should be a penalty against Moorpark for an illegal formation with 2 motions on the play.
And, yeah, you'll have the penalty markers out on the field, and I think you might be right. That's on the far sideline.
Yeah, the penalty will be against Cronquist, the second man to motion. Never got set on the play either. Oh, never mind.
Offsides penalty. Okay.
And
What do we know?
I like Moorpark's strategy thus far. They're going really condensed formations, a lot of motion misdirection, and they're just going quick plays outside and using their speed as the advantage.
Well, it'll be first down and 2. Should be 2nd and 1 after the penalty, but. And now we have the referees discussing something at midfield, and we might see a second call. I wonder if the coaches pointed it out, and now they're discussing whether or not they see it or not. Okay, clock is running again. Nothing stopped here. Pistol formation here. Man in motion. Passing here on second down, and this one almost intercepted by Jalen Blizzard as he came flying over. Well, Ventura was all over that pass there. We'll watch it break down from the right side. Intended on the pass was Charlie Simmons, but that was a dangerous throw. Check that. That was Cronquist intended for the pass.
And one thing for Moorpark, I think they have to go towards the mismatches per se. I mean, go to the side where there's less players. Go to the weak side and just make your guy beat a man one-on-one to get some yards.
2 receivers out right, 2 left here for Croton. Fakes the handoff, rolling out right side, throws a short little pass, and hit behind the line of scrimmage is going to be Tyson Moten. The football's out, and coming back and returning the football is going to be Jalen Wesley, as he might have a chance to go into the end zone, and he does. Ventura returns the football for another 6 points, and that was Tyson Moten just dropping the football as he was hit low.
I think that was Blizzard again on the low hit. This ball looks clean out.
And they're trying to set up the screen for Moten, and Moten just not able to hold on to the football. And check that, that's going to be Elijah Hamilton as he gets his first forced fumble on the low hit.
And Wesley, the star corner, leads the team with 3 interceptions, just the easy scoop and score. And now Moorpark finds themselves in a hole. I mean, you give up a big play on that first drive, and now a turnover by your offense.
And the offense was rolling there. I mean,
and it was, yeah, it was doing a great job.
Ryan Pimentel out to kick the extra point here. He's already 1 for 1 on the night. 10:19 on the clock. And this kick is up and good. And you see the referees running out as things have already started to get chippy here in Griffith Stadium. That is par for the course if you are any followers of the Citrus Cup over the years. But, you know, the emotions are high. This is for the pride of Ventura County. I mean, it really...
No love lost.
No, there is no love lost. And I can tell you, being an alumni from Moorpark College, I share absolutely no joy when I look at the Ventura Pirate. I will have it be known my stats against Ventura College are pretty good when I was pitching. It doesn't really make a difference here, but I just wanted to throw that one out there. 14-0. Pirates lead at 10:15 left to go here in this first quarter, and you can imagine this is enough action for a first half of football as we are getting set for the kickoff. And is that a holder out on the field?
It is.
They have a holder for Ventura College. Returning the football, Cronquist around the 15-yard line. He's going to cut inside, take a lane. He has a gap here on the near sideline. He's going to be hit and brought down at the 33. And a nice return from the 15. Put the Raiders in decent starting position for this second drive. Well, I guess if there's any summary of this first quarter for the Raiders, it's called secure the football and do your job. They need to make sure they do that right as the jarring will continue on the field for both of these teams.
I think the issue on that drive is a couple of their passes were just too late out into the flats. Ventura's definitely playing underneath coverage. So you try some double moves. Hit the flat, pump fake it, and then try to go upfield, or have multiple routes trying to clear it out for you.
Croton in the gun. He's got three receivers to his right, one to his left, puts Simmons in motion, looking to throw to Simmons. Simmons got the football here out on the flat. Running, makes a move. He has the block, and he's going to be able to get it up to the 40-yard line, but we have two flags out, one from behind the play and one from in front of the play. What was that flag for, Luke?
I think this could be a face mask tackle against Ventura.
Yeah, and I
That's
see
what
Simmons.
yeah.
Simmons standing here was like, yeah, he grabbed a hold of my head.
Yeah,
you see him dip his head down.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make it any easier for the referee than that one. Anytime you see your head dip below your waistline unintentionally. So a 15-yard penalty will be enforced, and this brings up another point. The Raiders need to take advantage of these kinds of penalties. If the Pirates are going to give them these yards for free, do not make the small mistakes. Hold on to the football, and it will secure points on the board. And Ventura might get a little relaxed here, and you need to take advantage of that. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Line to gain will be the 34. In the gun is Croton. Croton handles the snap, looking to throw here on first down, throws over the middle, and diving forward and making the catch is going to be Cronquist, as he has a couple catches on the day and brings the football up to the 41-yard line for a gain of 3 yards.
And that's exactly what we were talking about in the pregame, is take what Ventura is giving you. That is a quick pass that picks up 3 yards. There's no problem with 3 yards on first down. Moorpark will take that all night long if it's given to them.
2nd and 7 opens up a lot of things in your playbook, I think. Here we go, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on the short hash. Running back beside Croton. I'm trying to get a number for you if I can. Cronquist in motion. Throwing here on 2nd down, firing up and over on the right side and just out of the reach of the receiver Simmons. 3rd and 7 now coming up. That had to be perfect, and it was just outside of the reach of Simmons. And at least he left the football far and not in the reach of the defensive back there.
That's especially key here for Croton. You got to limit turnovers tonight. I mean, already down in a hole 2 possessions. Now it's even more important. Turnovers cannot happen anymore from this Raider offense, especially with one starting the game on the first drive.
3rd and 7, and this is kind of a big one here. The Raiders need to be able to respond. 9:05 on the clock left to go here in this first quarter. Out of the gun, man in motion. Throwing here, throws to Simmons in the flats. Simmons trying to catch the edge, and he's going to get up to maybe the line of scrimmage where he's tackled. We'll see what the Raiders decide to do here in this 4th and long situation.
Well, one thing I'd like to see from the Raider offense moving forward, if you notice on the last play, there was trips down towards the bottom of the screen. I'd really like if they attack it with sort of a flood concept. You send that outside receiver on a go, slot guy runs a corner and finds the open area, and just have someone in the flats. You can even send a slant and have your running back key in on the flat there, and then it's all up to Croton to just read that.
Wide receiver bunched up on the near side here. 3 receivers out to the right. And a quick kick from Croton as he's going to be able to get it out towards the 20-yard line. And a wise decision of the Raiders offense as they're able to change the field a little bit here with that football, and they will force the Ventura Pirates offense to start their second drive from the 20-yard line.
A little surprise on the quick because that's the around same area where we saw the Raiders punters warming up, and they were pinning that perfectly within the 5 almost every single time.
Some good news, Derek Mejia out there taking practice reps for the Raiders. So hopefully he is getting back into his playing shape, and we might see him here at the end of the season. 8:10 on the clock here as we get set and ready to go for the second drive of the Pirates. Irvin in the gun. Throwing here on first down. He's going to throw into the flat to Thompson. Thompson's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, but dive forward all the way up to the 25, make it the 26, able to get a nice gain of 6 yards.
When Thompson, one of the most prolific receivers for Ventura, he's actually second on the team in receptions despite coming out of the backfield. He's got 16 on the year, and he just picked up actually exactly his 100th receiving yard on the season on that play.
2nd and 4, 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion now. Handles the snap, and it's a handoff to Thompson again. Thompson dives up the middle. He's able to gain the first down up to the 31. And we're going to have a flag out on the field as I see a little bit of extracurricular there on the far sideline. I don't know if it was Sal Maria all tied up with the outside receiver on that side, but we will see how the laundry shakes out again. I have a feeling that this might be the case a little bit. 7:43 on the clock.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this go against the Raiders based on, obviously, off the reaction from the Ventura sideline. When you commit a penalty, there's not so much noise, but when there's one against you, you're yelling and screaming.
Well, and Ventura has always been a little bit loud when they play these games. Historically. Again, I mean, there's a giant trophy. I don't know if we can find it anywhere on the field. But there is a giant trophy, the Citrus Cup, that gets traded as it goes from team to team over the years. 7:34, clock is ticking down. Standard offense out here for the Pirates. Multiple men in motion. Thompson not taking the carry here. This football just overthrown over the middle to Eli Argon. He is the #1 receiver for the Pirates offense. Just to check out these stats really quick, 31 receptions for 496 yards, 4 touchdowns. He averages 99.2 yards per game. So definitely their #1 target, just out of reach there from Chris Irvin. As the clock has stopped at 7:22. 3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Nobody in motion yet. Irvin in the gun. Looking to throw here on 2nd down and 10. Firing far along the right side with an open receiver, and there's going to be a flag for pass interference. As Burton Placide was doing everything he could to stop the receiver, Eli Argon down the near sideline.
Placide has earned his stripes for this Raider team, especially last week. They put him on an island the entire game, had 3 pass breakups, so not surprised to see him following Aragon throughout the game.
There's going to be a flag waved off.
Well, that's
I'm
good
curious.
for the Raiders. He definitely made contact before the ball got there.
I don't know if that's diving towards the direction of the football or something else of the sort, but definitely curious. Okay.
Ventura's obviously not happy, as
No.
we can hear from up here in the booth.
3rd down and 10 coming up for the Pirates from the 46-yard line. Line to gain will be the 44. Handoff here on 3rd down. No, check that. And this one will be thrown into the flat to an open receiver who will catch the edge, but there's another flag out in the backfield here.
And based off Casillas' reaction, I think he knows that the flag is going to be going against the Pirates.
Yeah, this one was thrown to Josh Washington. He's targeted a little bit, 3 receptions on the season for 54 yards. And this is going to be a holding penalty against the Pirates, which may have given them enough time to get that football out. As, like you're saying, Casillas kind of knew what was going on because he wasn't able to get to the quarterback in time. Chris Irvin, lucky just to get the football off before potentially getting demolished by Casillas. So a 3rd and 16 coming up. 7:07 on the clock. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left, and a whistle for something. We have a referee running out from the backside. Potentially a timeout to be called by Ventura. We will see.
There was also some confusion with the down marker on the Ventura sidelines. Referees seem to be just sorting everything out.
They had 4th down, but it is 3rd down. And here's a flag for the sideline, looks like. And I don't know if that's for Steve Mishagian. It looks like him on the sideline now. Steve Mishagian, longtime coach of the Pirates, and they will warrant another flag. And the Raiders, well, should be very happy about this. Now, this does not mean get your offense very comfortable in this situation, but this brings the football, what I would believe is 15 yards back from the spot currently, or
It is. It's going to be third down and.
A lot.
Yeah, it could be. Depending on the penalty, if they assess yardage on it, because sometimes, I mean, it depends on what the penalty was. Oftentimes, there's a first sideline warning that a team gets. But, I mean, that back line judge came running in, obviously, to address his fellow officials to tell him, look, we got to throw a flag here.
So 3rd and 31 is going to be officially what it's going to be, I believe, or? Okay, so no, it will be 3rd and 16. Check that. 3rd and 16 will be the call.
Yeah, and that's just because you get the initial sideline warning. The
Yeah.
next one should be a 15-yard penalty against the Pirates if that were to happen. Actually,
Nope, no. They are going to move the football back. Okay,
I mean, this is
correction
an
once
interesting
again.
situation going on here.
3rd and 31 will officially be the line of scrimmage from the 25-yard line of the Pirates, which, if my math is correct, is over a quarter of the field.
Yes.
And there will be 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left for Irvin. And what is your 3rd and 31 play as they hand it off? And a large gain brought all the way up to the 39-yard line by Lamont James, as he will be dropped not quite close enough to the first down marker. I think the punting unit will be coming out, and they are. So the Pirates will be giving the football away to the Raiders, and we will see the special teams unit out for the Raiders, hopefully to return the football well here. 6:28 on the clock, still ticking down, as, my goodness, the last 5 minutes of this football game have been very head-scratching.
Well, there's only 6 minutes left in the first, and we have more penalties than I can count.
4th and 16, here comes the punt from Carter. A wobbling punt at the 25, and Cronquist is not going to touch it as it will roll down to the 11-yard line. And the Raiders will start their next drive at the 11 with 6:01 on the clock to go. 1st and 10. Man, we're still in the first quarter.
You know, I'd like to see from the Raiders on this drive, I want the first play to be maybe put a running back in for a little extra protection, but I want to see a deep shot to Cronquist. Just on the first play, get that Ventura defense on its toes and ready.
Well, bringing up Cronquist, he's 35 receptions for 481 yards, 6 touchdowns, 96.2 yards per game. That's not counting his return stats. 4 receivers out for the Raiders, to the right, to the left. Hard account for Croton, throws into the middle, finds a receiver who's making a move, running towards the far sideline, and a first down on the first play of this drive, as it looks like Tyson Moten gets his hands on the football and able to make a good reception here. A nice redemption play after the fumble in the first drive for the Raiders.
Yeah, Moten, still one of the better receivers on Moorpark. He's 2nd in receptions and receiving yards, so you got to get him the ball back, and it's good to see that they trust him with that.
To the right, to the left here for Croton. He has his running back in. Trying to sort out his offense here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Handles the snap, throwing here on first down again. Throws over to Cronquist. Cronquist over the middle, makes a move, trying to jump forward, and he does up to the first down marker, and he's going to keep going. He is not down, and he's down at the 41-yard line, and my goodness, Cronquist just keeps those legs a-churning.
And he's got a lot of fight in him. I mean, we've seen it all season. It takes more than one defender to bring him down oftentimes.
Yeah, and he is walking over to his slot receiver position with kind of some swagger, and I think he's earned it a little bit as he just made a whole bunch of guys have to tackle him there. 5:06 on the clock as we keep winding down here in the first quarter. Groton throwing here on first down again, and he finds his receiver, Simmons, on the outside as he's able to dive forward. I don't know if he had the first down there, and they're going to move the chains again. First down. The Raiders 3 plays, 3 first downs, and my goodness, this is their offense that I think we've been hoping we could see. Consistent, keeping control of the football, and moving the football steadily and not trying to go for the big play.
Yeah, and I think they understand the run game is not their strength this season, and they're really keen on the pass, and they have a great game plan thus far.
4 receivers out, 2 to the right, 2 to the left once again. Croton in the gun. Offset running back, and they're going to fake the handoff. Croton choosing to keep it. He has an option with the pitch, and there's going to be a flag in the backfield as Croton will dive forward up to the 44-yard line, but this is likely coming back with a hold. And it will be. trying to figure out where the hold was at, potentially on Julian Alfaro there on the far side. They didn't announce a number, so this will be a 10-yard penalty enforced all the way back to the 42-yard line. Line to gain will be the 38. Feels like an eternity. 1st and 20 coming up. Raiders getting their offense sorted out. And they do. Trips receivers to the right side. Delayed handoff here to Simmons. Simmons able to dive forward for 4 yards. Check that, 3 yards up to the 45.
Well, Moorpark using a lot of play action and run pass options early on the RPO. I like that. It gives Croton an opportunity to read the defense and stay poised and just calm and make the play that he sees that fits best.
Despite the hold on the last play, I was going to say exactly that, is that he had the opportunity to potentially pitch it over to Cronquist there in the flat. Pressure coming here for Croton. Throws near side, finds his running back out of the backfield, diving forward up to the original line of scrimmage is Gabriel Landless, and he's going to have a nice little gain 2 plays in a row. So this will be 3rd and now 9 coming up from the 47-yard line. Again, line to gain will be the 38-yard line with 3:12 ticking down. The Raiders quickly going here. 3 receivers out to the right on the far side as they have most of the field, and he's able to get him with the hard count. No flags out on the field now. Here comes the catch that brings it down, and River Stout uses all of his height and catches the football down to the 25-yard line. 1st down Raiders, and there's going to be a flag on the near side, but I think the Raiders will take that over the 5-yard penalty. But River Stout makes his biggest catch of the season, in my opinion, I think, at this point. Goodness gracious.
That's just a great play. I mean, great high point, a perfect throw from Croton, too.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, fakes the handoff. Cronquist throwing here on 1st down and overthrows it into dangerous territory. He was targeting Simmons, but just threw it way over his head, and we have a flag out on the field and a helmet off of a offensive lineman.
We'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, this is...
I think it was... number 54 to come off the field. He lost his helmet for the Raiders.
So the penalty is going to be a, I believe, roughing the passer. There's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and that will bring it all the way down to inside the red zone of the Pirates. The Raiders threatening here at the 12-yard line.
Well, and Croton was pressured on that play, but that was a great concept. Simmons was wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he just overthrew it. Oh, and a false start penalty is going to be called on the Raiders here. Though I saw the defense move first, and I don't know if he touched the offensive lineman, but the offensive lineman moved after the motion of the defense, but that doesn't change or mitigate the false start. We'll see what the referees choose here. We'll watch this one more time. Watch. And so 55 stood up.
It's going to be against Ventura.
It's going to be against Ventura. 55 stood up and reached out and touched the helmet. I think he might have got away with one a little bit there, but, I mean, technically they teach you as an offensive lineman, touch him.
Yep.
If he comes into the neutral zone, touch him.
That's a penalty on the defense. If you touch them while they're still in the neutral zone, if you're a little late on that, then that's going to be called on you.
Yeah.
But good awareness.
Yeah. Now 1st and goal, we'll call it from the 7-yard line. The Raiders now farthest down the field that they have been this entire game.
I believe Moorpark can still pick up a 1st down if they get to about the 2-yard line.
Oh, check that. Yes, I'm sorry. 1st down and 5 from the 7-yard line. They have 5 to go. And that will bring them all the way down to the 3. Throw towards the far sideline, making a move is Landless, trying to get the 1st down. He has it, and he was almost able to dive into the end zone before he was met by a number of Pirates there right at the end zone line. Look at that. It took a whole squad of Pirates to try and stop him from getting into the end zone. Landless doing his best to try and get there, and that was really good motion from the backfield again from Landless. I really like that play design from the Raiders. And we have the jumbo package potentially out here for the Raiders, as you see everybody stacked on that line of scrimmage. Now going to be under center is Croton. Cronquist in motion, fakes a toss to Cronquist, throwing under pressure, firing over towards the middle of the end zone, and going to be incomplete. That was intended for Ryan Johnson, tight end.
One thing to mention, I was going to say, Ryan Johnson, Ventura's got to be careful. Saw him running out onto the field. He's gotten a handful of red zone targets this season for the Raiders. Again, getting one there. And that was a very interesting design to me of Cronquist sort of angled inside from the tight end position. Then you set him in motion, fake the toss. They're just, the game plan is misdirection for Moorpark.
1:58 on the clock here in the first quarter to go. And, man, this has been action-packed. If you like the Citrus Cup, this is what you'll get in the Citrus Cup. River Stout coming onto the field for Johnson, as it is second down and goal here from the 2-yard line. In the gun, Croton hands it off to Landless, and Landless is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and maybe lose a yard, and he does. So 3rd down and 3 now coming up, and this is a really big 3rd down, and brings up the question, do you go for it on 4th down?
Well, I would say for Moorpark you have to. I mean, yeah, Burke's a solid kicker for you, and you can almost guarantee 3 points from this range. But I think based on the way this game has gone, you need to take advantage of every opportunity you can. It's a big rivalry game. It's huge for your season. I think you got to go for everything here.
Stout off the field. We got Johnson checking back in as the tight end. We have that heavy offensive line once again. Simmons in motion here. Under center, looking to throw towards the end zone. Finds a receiver who gets a hand off it on it, and Croton not able to get the completed pass, and we'll have the special teams unit come out on the field, and Daniel Burke onto the field to kick a field goal here.
I'll go back to one thing from that red zone possession. I don't like the fact that, first off, that run on 2nd down, usually when you have a receiver run on that late, they don't know what the play is. That keys the defense in. It's probably a run. You're probably just running off the field saying block to the guy, whoever you're substituting in with. And then Cronquist saw no targets in the red zone there. I'd like to see Moorpark try to work the ball towards him more.
Here comes the kick from Burke. This one is up and good. So 3 points on the board for the Raiders. Not how they wanted that drive to end up, but the defense of the Raiders playing very well. 3-14 is the score. 1:07 left on the clock here in the first quarter. You're watching Raiders football. We're going to take a step aside. This quarter of football has been brought to you in part by UCLA Health, proud partner of Raiders football, and we'll see you in just a few moments. Well, the Raiders able to get 3 points there at the end of that drive. Not exactly the touchdown they were looking for, but nonetheless it breaks the ice. The Raiders kicking off, 1:07 left to go on the clock. This one falling towards the near sideline, and returning the football is going to be Cargo. Cargo makes a move and dives inside, and he's going to be brought down around the 23-yard line, so a decent return for him around the goal line, 22 yards, and that will bring the offense out for the Pirates as they were stumped on their last drive.
Well, it seems like the turf monster entering the stat column there with its first tackle of the night.
Well, you know, you can't blame it on the groundskeepers. This is a turf field. No, Moorpark College, one of the last fields to go from grass to turf here in the WSC. Bakersfield College was, I believe, the last one to go from grass to turf. That used to be a very fun place to go call a football game from. Nonetheless, we're back into the third drive of the game. This pass wide open finds a receiver right over the middle, and that is just a mistake you can't have if you're the Raiders, as that's a long catch and reception for Tyler Woodworth as he makes his 5th catch of the season.
Well, and Woodworth just did a good job finding the soft spot in the zone and kind of sitting down and waiting for his quarterback to make the play. Eventually, Irvin went through his progressions and got to him and made a great throw.
Irvin going to be in the gun, bunch receivers to his right side. He's going to hand it off here on first down. No, he keeps it himself. He's running up the middle. He's going to have a huge hole, and he makes it all the way up to the 22-yard line of the Raiders, and he has a large fist bump as he's a little bit hyped up. 38.7 seconds, and the clock will continue to run down now.
I said limit big plays, and that's 2 already on this drive from Moorpark. You got to be able to respond on the defensive end and try to force a field goal here.
Throwing here on first down, under pressure, fires inside and finds Thompson. Thompson finds a lane on the near side. He's able to get another first down into the red zone of the Raiders all the way down to, we'll mark it, the 16-yard line.
Well, good pursuit from Morales there, able to save him from cutting back inside. Defensive tackle making a play on a screen 10 yards downfield, not often something you see, but great effort there.
10 seconds left here on the game clock. Just so you guys understand. And they get a playoff right before the end of the quarter, firing towards the middle of the field, and this pass is going to be caught around the 8-yard line, but well defended by Burton Placide. So 2nd down and 8 will be coming up, but we're going to take a quick break for the end of the quarter. It's now the end of the first. We head into the second quarter. You're watching Raider football on SoCal College Sports. Well, an exciting first quarter is now over. We come into the second. We are almost 15 minutes away from halftime. And the Pirates on the doorstep once again. 2nd, and we'll mark it 3 from the 8-yard line. Handoff here on first down. Thompson hit at the line of scrimmage. He's going to dive forward to the 5. We'll see if he has the line to gain. It was close, but I think he was able to push it over. As they'll call it first down and goal from the 5-yard line. So the other big point I think would say on this drive for Ventura College is they haven't committed any penalties here. It's been a relatively clean drive of football as they have the heavy package in here. Bunch receivers on both sides looking to throw here all the way is Irvin. Fires over the middle and finds an open receiver in the end zone. Touchdown Pirates. 14:30 on the clock. And they are able to score their 3rd touchdown. Eli Argon, their #1 receiver, able to get the job done.
It's Argon's 5th receiving touchdown on the season for the Pirates. Obviously the favorite target of Irvin. He's just sitting alone in the back of the end zone. Obviously on this drive, a lot of breakdown in the zones of the Moorpark Raiders. They had a handful of big plays, especially the first one to Woodworth and then that one in the end zone. Just the middle of the field seems to be like someone's missing their assignment there.
Ryan Pimentel on for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So 21-3 is the scoreline here at the end. Well, to end the first quarter and begin the second. The Raiders offense needs to figure something out here.
You do it fast.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the offense had a positive drive last drive. I'm not going to harp on them too much here, but it needs to be effective, and there needs to be points on the board.
I mean, I would argue you need a touchdown, but then again, you get 3, it's not the end of the world because that makes it a 2-possession game at that point, and that's something you can work with. So it really depends on the situation Moorpark's in. I'd say inside the 10 if it's within 2 to 1 yards to pick up a touchdown or potentially a first down. It's a must-need to go for it in that situation.
So Cronquist, the lone man, out at the 10-yard line to return the football here. Here comes the kick from Pimentel. high and towards the left side. Cronquist fields it from his 15-yard line, cutting back towards the near sideline. Here he comes. He's got a couple men in pursuit, and here comes the long block from the Raiders, making a move, jumping back, and able to get up to the 25-yard line as Ventura's continuing to make the play after the play is blown dead. And we have another flag up in there as Cronquist is trying to just get out of the pile unscathed as there's multiple players landing on top of each other.
This is the thing for Ventura. You have an 18-point lead right now. The biggest backbreaker that you can have is penalties, especially personal fouls that are going to cost you 15 yards, extracurriculars after the play. You can't let that happen. I mean, they've got to realize the situation they're in and have a chance to really take this game into their complete control, and a penalty is going to prevent them from doing that.
4:19 on the clock here in the second quarter, and the Raiders will get the football from what I believe is the 38-yard line. Check that, the 41-yard line. So a very good starting field position once again. And, you know, again, will we see this kind of dink and dime offense where you'll take 10 yards, take 10 yards, and take 10 yards, set up by maybe some smaller plays? The Raiders need to find a spark here on offense to get some points on the board and turn this thing around here in the first half.
I think the key for Moorpark is to use that same sort of offensive scheme, but you also have to play into Ventura's aggressiveness that we've seen early on in this game. I mean, that plays into the penalties after the play, but also they've been really aggressive on defense. They've been really getting after these routes and trying to make the big hit plays. So you just got to be patient and make your move.
Croton in the gun, three receivers to his left. Throwing here on first down, and there is definitely contact before the catch, but Simmons not able to hold on to the football. That's a tough one there. He had a defensive back draped all over him as the football came out, but I don't know if it was within the 5 yards. No penalty marker, 2nd and 10 coming up from the 41-yard line. Three receivers out again to the left for Croton, one near side.
Keep in mind, one up top way off the line of scrimmage, about 5 yards.
Yeah, so they're giving you that short little play there. Croton throwing here on 2nd down. Here comes the pressure, fires, and this one is to Tyson Moten as he is hit after attempting to make the catch.
I like the setup that Moorpark had on that play. The one thing I would like to say is have Moten run that route and then have someone like Cronquist do an out and then whip himself back in late, and you can have that clear out for him to then catch and run.
14:10 on the clock. Clock is stopped after the incomplete pass. Two receivers out to the left, two to the right, and 3rd and 10 coming up as the Raiders really need to convert this here. Man in motion, stopped here in the slot. Croton throwing here on first down. We have the flag out, and here comes a pitch forward to Tyson Moten. Moten's going to be hit behind or at the 47-yard line, but there's going to be a flag in the area of a hold, as the Raiders might see the football going backwards, or they might choose to keep it and go 4th down. We'll see. That penalty will be declined. So 4th down coming up here for the Raiders from, I'm not sure which yard line because nobody officially said where the football is going, and the football is not placed down on the ground.
Well, it should just be 10 yards back from.
But the penalty was declined, wasn't it?
It was declined. Then it should just be placed where it was.
No.
Actually, no, the penalty's declined. That's a huge mistake for Ventura. Moorpark picked up about 8 yards on the play.
But it's 4th down coming up, so
I mean, it is, but that does give Moorpark a chance to potentially go for it, which obviously they're not with Burke coming out into the field. But that's a very interesting call. I mean, you're kind of playing into the hand of Moorpark, saying, hey, what are you going to do? We're going to make you make the decision instead of us.
Well, one man, this is a interesting lineup here. I think they're trying to block the punt. A lot of men on the line of scrimmage here for Ventura College, as the referees still are not sure what's going on here.
And Moorpark ran a fake, but the play was whistled dead right after the snap.
So there should be a penalty for delay of game because the play clock was down, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on now because the referees are running towards the near sideline and talking to Coach Mike Stewart.
I don't think there should be a penalty because the referee came in between the snap telling him to hold.
Yeah.
So this is on the officials right here where they have to kind of communicate it with each other that, look, we're going to hold the play, stop the play clock, or reset it or whatever, and then on our whistle we'll roll the play clock again from the top. So it would be 25 seconds, or I believe it's 25 seconds on the play clock. But it's just seems to be a little bit of confusion right now.
The refs have their handful with all the personal things going on for between players here on the field and on the sideline, for that matter. It's a lot to handle. So 4th down and 3 coming up. Line of scrimmage will be the 48-yard line. Burke still coming out onto the field, and I think we might just replay this down as the referees are trying to get a handle on everything. I'm sure the Raiders are a little bit upset because that was kind of their ace in the hole trying to play the fake there. Nonetheless.
Well, I doubt they would go for it again, especially because Ventura was a little bit misaligned there. They seemed a little out of sorts, especially on the gunner down on the bottom towards the Moorpark sideline.
Yeah, there's nobody on that
That's
side.
an easy pass if Burke can make it.
And Burke throwing over the middle, finds Johnson. Johnson makes the catch. He's still up here. He goes down to the 30-yard line, still on his feet, all the way down to the 27. Take that, Ventura. The Raiders are rolling forward.
I guess we have our answer. Burke can make the pass.
My goodness. Griffin Stadium erupts in applause, and that is what I'm talking about. The Raiders able to go 2 for 2 now on fakes, and the Pirates caught with their pants down.
And keep in mind, they decided to decline that holding penalty to set up the 4th down and short.
So the 4th down and short converted on the special play from special teams of the Raiders. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Croton. Throwing here on 1st down. This football is a little bit low, but caught by Rivers Stout there on the far sideline, a gain of 7 yards. Raiders have it down to the 20-yard line, and this drive is now turning into a little bit of a positive one here for the Raiders, as Pirates may have made a little bit of a mistake there. Steve Mishagan probably scratching his head going, why did I give them the football with 4th and 3 coming up? 2nd and 3, we got 12:26 on the clock ticking down as the Raiders have 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on the short hash. And here comes Croton in the gun once again. He's got the snap, choosing to hand it off. No, he keeps it himself down the left side, and there he goes towards the sideline, and he will be hit out of bounds after catching the 1st down, and it will be well within inside the red zone of the Pirates.
Well, and Landless took a shot on that play. He took them for the team, and you can hear the oohs and ahs from the Pirates sidelines, but those are silenced pretty quick once they realize Croton has a 1st down.
Watch this. We'll see it perfectly from the backside, and Landless just gets pummeled. But my goodness, Croton able to move the football, and he is hit out of bounds. And the Raiders will have a new set of downs from this, what we'll mark it, the 13-yard line.
We got Cronquist lined up 3 yards off the ball.
Yeah, there's going to be a flag at the snap, and I believe that's what they're going to call it on. Well, false start. So a 5-yard penalty for the Raiders. That's going to back them up to the 18-yard line.
All the flags being thrown, it is now measured from Ventura College to Griffin Stadium.
I don't know if that is accurate. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
That's an interesting announcement
to
see.
The amount of flags that have been thrown, the yards is enough to get to Ventura College. It's about 40 miles from here.
I believe that's a little sarcasm on his end.
Croton under pressure, firing to Cronquist. Cronquist makes a move up the middle. He's able to make a run forward all the way down to, we'll mark it, the 7-yard line, and he is hit hard with 11:36 on the clock to go, and that will be a 3rd down and short. Check that 2nd down and 4 coming up.
That's a great play to get some yardage back. I really like the plays where Moorpark delays and then cuts underneath on the inside. And as they're doing, they're taking what Moorpark is giving, and the linebackers fly out into the drops, and you hit it underneath.
Yeah, or somebody guns through a gap and tries to come to the quarterback, and they pick up where the loss is. Landless diving forward up to the 5-yard line, just shy of the 1st down. So he'll have a gain of 3 yards.
Well, that was a great one hop to the right from Landless to save himself some yards and eventually pick up the field. But now, Moorpark in this situation, this 3rd down, number one thing, cannot lose yards. You can't lose yards here because this is a very easy 4th down and short if it comes to that. You cannot lose yardage on this play.
Here comes the jumbo package once again. Croton under center. Are they going to be able to do the tush push forward? And he is able to dive forward. Is it enough for the 1st down? And I believe he has it down to the 4-yard line. The Philly special, as some have dubbed it.
Well, there was an original Philly special before back in
Hey, maybe
Super
we
Bowl
can see
52.
Croton a little bit.
I'm sure Croton would love to get his moment catching a touchdown
Ryan
pass.
Johnson to Croton. I don't know. So 4th down and 1. They're going to maybe run the same exact play over again.
Well, I like Simmons on the island up top.
Pushing him forward, and he's able to get forward. Croton. And the football, but Ventura was a little bit antsy there, wanted to get the football out. It was whistled dead before it was picked up on the ground.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that will never be known whether that ball is really out. There's no way to find it in that pile.
And I don't know if you guys noticed something, but Alonzo Gayatin, their offensive lineman, and I think a number of the guys over there are kind of wheeling their hands around saying, let's keep doing this. We like this play. Give us something to do here.
I mean, they're only 2 yards out.
Yeah. Well, in the gun and now stepping a little bit forward is Croton. Nope, he's not going to go under center. He just moves his running back to the left side. Hand off to Simmons. Simmons up the middle, hit back behind at the line of scrimmage. And he's maybe lucky to get back up to the 2-yard line as the Raiders will have 2nd and 2 from the goal.
Well, if you want, now that Ventura is keying in on that read option, you send Cronquist in motion behind, and you have him for an option play if Croton decides to keep it.
Well, here comes the jumbo package again, and we'll see if they try it one more time. 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line, 9-12 ticking down. And here comes the Raiders trying to push Croton forward, and Croton is going to be hit and stopped there on 2nd down. I don't know if he was able to get to the line of scrimmage, and I see the referees running up from the 2-yard line. So he was stoned there at the 2-yard line.
He just got caught high. They got under his shoulder pads, and at that point, there's almost nothing you can do as a ball carrier when you're trying to just drive your way forward.
I think the time for surprise was gone. You should have ran it 3 times in a row versus.
Yeah, because when you line up again, Ventura's had a play to kind of think, and they're like, all right, we know this is coming, this play. Let's try something different here, and it ends up working.
So 2 receivers out to the right, and they have 2 receivers to the left. One lined up on the slot, short slot. And here we go. Fake the handoff to Landless. Fires over towards the far sideline, and dropping the football is Cronquist, and that might have been one of the catches of the season.
I think Croton's going to stay on the field here, and I would hope so for the Raiders. I think, you could make it a 2-possession game, but you've gotten down this close now twice. You got to come over with a touchdown one of those times, especially in a game like this against Ventura, where you know the history of this game and how it's gone for you recently. You got to step on the gas.
Croton in the gun. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. He has Landless beside him, looking to throw here. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Raiders! River Stout into the end zone from the corner. Touchdown Raiders, 8:39 on the clock, and the Raiders able to make it a 9-21 game, barring the extra point.
Well, you can credit River Stout with just about every point in this game so far for the Raiders. That huge catch on the sideline to eventually set up the Burke field goal, and then great positioning using his huge frame to catch that slant route.
My gosh, an opportunity for the Raiders to make this a closer game here, as this is a tale of potentially 2 quarters, as the extra point from Burke is up and good. And remember, that was all set up from the throwing efforts of Burke, as he was able to get the 28-yard pass reception to Ryan Johnson over the middle.
And that's one of those situations. You pick up a 4th down like that, you have to go for it on all the rest of them, as long as they're manageable. And gladly for the Raiders, they did. I mean, now it's an 11-point game. And, you got a lot of confidence. Your offense just punched it into the end zone. And, Stout's 3rd reception touchdown of the season. And it's all on your defense now.
Well, the Raiders' defense has had good drives and bad drives so far in tonight's game. And, Luke, I suppose we could both agree that this has been situational. Allowing the big play has been detrimental, but pressuring the quarterback and not allowing them to get the football to move on the ground has been very successful for the Raiders' defense here. It'll be interesting to see what plays that the Ventura offense will have dialed up. Luckily, the defense has been able to sit for the Raiders, which has been a little bit different from what we've noticed in most games, as the defense has been out a lot ordinarily. This one, a little bit of a squib kick, bouncing, being fielded around the 18-yard line, and this one moving backwards as the Raiders special teams unit able to quickly get on the football down to the 21-yard line, and that's where the forward progress will get the Pirates offense set up for their now 5th drive of this game.
Well, as you mentioned, the defense hasn't been out there as much, and we usually see them quite often, a lot more than the Raider offense. That defense really puts in a lot of work for this team. That's one of the keys of this game. Keep your defense fresh and off the field, because with Ventura's scheme with Lamont James and I believe, Jalen Thompson, both of them back and forth, they're going to stay fresh in the backfield. So you need to make sure your defense is allowed to do the same by keeping them on the sidelines, letting them re-catch their breath.
In the gun, 2 receivers out to the left, to the right. Here comes the pressure from the Raiders. Throwing here on first down, finds a receiver. And this is going to be caught and brought down the near sideline for a long reception. And the Pirates offense able to move with a big play here on first down. Catching that football. Somebody I don't have on my depth chart.
I believe that was number 9, Josh Washington, on the reception.
All the way there at the bottom.
Not
3 receivers to the
often,
right,
tight
1 to the near side. Looking to throw here over the middle, and this football is caught.
Was it caught by a receiver? Yes.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I thought it was caught by the offensive lineman.
I
but
did
that
as well.
That was Eli Oregon over the middle who ended up catching that football. Gosh, that is a into traffic. I thought that was either intercepted or thrown to an offensive lineman. Tough to see from our angle. 2nd down and 8 coming up here. High snap, handled well, handed off to Lamont James. Lamont James over towards the far sideline as he's going to be stood up around the 50-yard line. And
Ventura's not going to be happy about this because he got out of the pile. They let the play go, and the second he breaks free, the whistles blow. So that's a really interesting decision by the officials. You got to blow the whistle there. Forward progress has been stopped, and then you blow it once he gets out. If you don't decide to there, you got to let him run after the play. That's one of those calls. It's tough for the officials, but you got to let it play if you decide to there.
So 3rd down and a big 6 coming up here for the Pirates. Looking to throw here into the side. And, throwing off a receiver is James as he's able to make a move. He stays on his feet out to the 50-yard line, but he's going to be tackled around the 49, and that's going to be a 4th down, and flags coming out.
And Moorpark just cost themselves. That's Christian Kohulun there. Completely unnecessary. He's in the face of a Ventura Pirate the entire play well after the whistle as well, and you just got to stop. You just got off the field there. That's 4th down coming up, and you just get a 15-yard penalty. Ventura is going to capitalize with this 1st down. I mean, that's just completely undisciplined that you can't have in a game where you're trying to come back. You're down 11 points. Your offense just scored, and that's a very selfish play there made by the Raiders.
Yeah. 1st and 10 now from the Raiders' 34-yard line. That's going to hurt a lot considering it was now 4th and 6, and that would have been just turned around a punt from midfield. I don't think the Ventura Pirates would have wanted to try. I mean, they might try to do what the Raiders did, but
they might, but then again, they don't need to because of the play by Moorpark. I mean, penalties are going to kill you, especially ones like that where there's absolutely no excuse to have them.
Well, trips receivers to the right, 1 to the near side for Irvin. Irvin in the gun. He has his running back beside him. The linebacker is playing a couple games, and here we go. We had a Raider over the line of scrimmage and then an offensive lineman of the Pirates moving, but we're going to call it a neutral zone infraction, and the Pirates are going to get another free 5 yards. So 1st and 5 from the Raiders' 29-yard line. The game will be the 24 with 6:38 on the clock to go here in the first half, and the Pirates get ever closer to the red zone of the Raiders.
We've seen a handful of screens, especially on that 3rd down. I mean, Moorpark started to play a little softer. Those D linemen recognized it and backed off, which is a good sign for the defense.
James takes the carry down the near sideline. He's going to have a hole, and he's going to be brought down, and he'll have the 1st down and then some.
A good open field tackle by Hernandez there, especially to save that because James has a wide open lane to the end zone if Hernandez is not out there to make the stop.
So 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 17. A red zone stop is what the Raiders need to keep themselves in this half as the clock will continue to tick down. We're almost under 6 minutes here to go in the first half. Here comes the pressure right in the face of Irvin, and Irvin is going to make the pass to Pacheco, who will be knocked down after a gain of 3 yards. Out of bounds, the clock will be stopped at 5:53.
Well, Darnell Stevens, first one there for the Raiders on this outside position, but that's a great job of the defensive line to rally because he slips that tackle and the line doesn't rally. That's a touchdown easily for the Pirates, but great job. That defensive line really starting to play the screen well.
Clock back, moving. Throwing here on 2nd down and 7, and a huge chance for an open field tackle, and the Raiders will do it as they are going to catch the Pirates on a big loss. Back to the 20-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to see who the ball carrier was, and it was number 12, Drew Lopez. Watch this.
You're going to see Lopez. He runs backwards right after the catch. That's kind of the number one rule in offense. You don't want to be going backwards. But there, based off previous plays, he's thinking Moorpark's going to miss the tackle on him, and he could just shoot out of a cannon.
Well. So 3rd down and now 13 coming up from the 20-yard line. What's the 3rd down and 13 play as they hand it off, and a big hit from Lamont James to Lamont James, as I think it was Nico Nares shooting through the gap. We're going to want to watch this again. My goodness. Watch, Nares drops the shoulder and just makes a football form tackle.
Well, Nares and Casillas, both great plays. They both get off blocks initially. They stay on their landmarks and then just fly down to make the play.
So Lamont James stunned there after the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 10 is going to bring out the kicking unit.
Biggest thing here, no penalties.
Yeah, Pimentel out to kick. His long on the season is 35. This will match his long. Kick is down. This one almost blocked, and it's going to be good. My goodness, that was close. So 3 points tacked on to the 21-10 scoreline will make it 24-10. The Raiders chasing 2 scores here late in the 2nd quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Raiders football on SoCal College Sports. Don't go anywhere. Cronquist, the man singled back, standing around his 11-yard line to return the kick. The Pirates only able to get 3 out of it. That matches Pimentel's 35 long of the season. He's now 1 for 1 in field goals, 3 for 3 for extra points. This kick to the 9-yard line. Cronquist returning it, coming near sideline. The special teams unit of Raiders have been pretty good so far this season and tonight, and look at Cronquist bring it all the way up to the 31-yard line. It just seems like he gets in these weird balls of people, and there's like a whole bunch of guys blocking and hitting around him, and he finds a way to just shoot through it.
He's just like an engine in there with his legs. He just drives the pile, and he's just a great job as it. We've seen it now 3 times probably tonight where he's made those kind of plays and picked up extra yards.
The Raiders offense, we were talking about it a second ago, they do have a player down here on the near sideline. So we will hope that everybody is doing okay. 4:07 on the clock.
We have a final from Denver where Taylor Swift is happy because her boyfriend's team won 19-8.
And we have a Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs update as the Chiefs have defeated the Broncos. That makes me feel embarrassed to say that I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Well, you've beaten the Broncos 16 straight times now.
Well, sometimes it feels good to be the best. The best in the West.
Well, as a Patriots fan, I used to know the feeling, but not so much anymore.
It's okay. You guys had your years.
We had our 2 decades, and now we can
back to the real Western WSC Northern Division. This is the real one that we care about. Raiders Pirates in the 55th edition of the Citrus Cup. Croton throwing here on 1st down, finds his receiver cutting inside and making a move is Elisha Evans, and he's able to move up to the 40-yard line with a nice catch and gain here. And 1st down, that will make it 2nd and 2 coming up. 3 minutes and 54 seconds as we are ticking down. And the Raiders need to move this football. They do get the football back in the second half, so this drive here is really important for the Raiders points-wise. 2 receivers to the left, 2 on the near sideline as well, 1 back beside Croton. Croton handing off here on second down, and diving forward is Landless, and he's going to have the first down, and that was a nice 5-yard gain. First down and 10 coming up from the 44-yard line, and the clock will be stopped momentarily as it gets to going again, and now it's back in motion.
One of the points I had here pregame was that Moorpark, their run game, I had it written down. They need to have above 30 rushing yards if they're really going to have a good shot on offense this game, and they're doing really good.
Croton throwing over the middle, finds Cronquist. Cronquist makes a move. There he goes down to the 20-yard line, streaming down to the end zone. Cronquist, touchdown, Moorpark Raiders. He finds the sweet nectar of the end zone, and the Raiders able to cut off the peg leg of the Pirates. Touchdown Raiders, and that will make the Raiders fans feel real good as we are headed towards the half, but we have a flag out on the field, but that's on the near sideline, potentially on the sideline.
It should be after the play. They should stand, and Cronquist went for 62 yards and the only touchdown for the Raider offense last week. This one for 56. Just an absolute strike down the middle. Croton really, really solid thus far in the first half.
And here comes the extra point from Daniel Burke. And my goodness, well, the defense after that long drive from Ventura is going to have to come back out onto the field. But the Raiders making this a 1-score football game now with 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, I'd say this next possession for this Ventura offense is the most important of the game so far, because going in half, as you said, Moorpark gets the ball. If this defense can manage to come away with giving up no points, that's going to be a huge win for Moorpark.
So another sideline warning issued against the Pirates is, I suppose things are not going exactly how they imagined them here late in the first half. Burke on to attempt the extra point. And the Raiders, I don't know if that was dialed up exactly to have a touchdown, but Cronquist doing his thing as he kicks the extra point up and good.
And one point I'll make is that sideline warning, the second one of the game, will be interested to see if there will be yardage enforced on the upcoming kickoff, and if so, that puts Moorpark kicking off from the 50-yard line. But we'll have to see what the referees decide to do here, as it's kind of been, you know, I'm not super sure on a lot of these calls of what's going to be happening, especially on the previous sideline warning. We had that 3rd down and 31 come up. Goodness, watch. It never gets old watching Cronquist run into the end zone like that. Well, actually, the penalty is going to be enforced on Moorpark. Yeah, well, they had that sideline warning here. I think there was another one given to the Pirates, but it was a soft warning of, you know, hey, keep your guys on the sideline. So Moorpark will have to kick from the 20, and that puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage here. In a huge defensive drive, we really want to come away with no points so your offense can have a chance to tie the game to start the third quarter. And especially, I mean, there's 3 minutes left. This is not saying that Ventura is going to hold the ball for the end of the half. Is it likely? Yeah, they could definitely pull something out, especially with their run attack. Burke on to kick from his own 20-yard line. He's been able to put him back through the end zone a couple times before this season. This one, a low squib kick, a little bit end over end as it hits the ground, and here comes the return from the far sideline, and this will be ended around the 45. We see a Pirates player hobbling off the field. Well, that was just good coverage from Moorpark. I mean, their key rule is on kickoff for those outside guys, keep or contain, and that was a great job there forcing him out of bounds. I believe that was Messiah Jones returning the football there, and he is a big part of this defense of the Pirates. And in a defensive backcourt that is a little bit light right now, that is not a good loss to have. From the 43-yard line, handoff here on first down. This one goes to Thompson. Thompson going to be hit very hard right there, just past the line of scrimmage. A gain of 2 yards up to the 45, and that's your man, Casillas,
swallowing up that tackle.
Oh, Peyton Casillas, I mean, he leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks. I mean, he's that star of the defense. This is his 3rd year here. Ended up actually appearing in 1 game last year before redshirting due to injury, and he had 3 sacks in that game alone.
So 11 tackles for loss on the season, not counting this game tonight. And under pressure, throwing over the middle, making the catch and bringing it down is a huge catch over the middle for the Pirates. And my goodness, I believe that was Freddie Martinez making the catch for the Pirates. Nope, check that. That's going to be number 14. Cody Hoffman. This might bring it close to field goal range as the clock going to be starting to be an issue. And here comes the Raiders defensive line. And here they go with a sack, the first sack of the game. And it couldn't have come at a more consequential moment as the football will be dropped back behind the 35-yard line at the 36-yard line. 1 minute and 59 seconds to go here in the first half. And that is a huge first down stop as it will bring up 2nd and 16. Check that, 17. The line to gain will be the 19-yard line of the Raiders. Throwing here on 2nd down and turning around trying to find a receiver is going to be Irvin, but it is an incomplete pass thrown way over the head of the receiver. Clock stopped at 1:49.
Well, and Javon Evans slipped on the play. He's lucky that one falls incomplete. He had good coverage, great positioning. Just unfortunately, when he made his move there, just go right back to the underneath routes and really take up some time and not allow the Pirates to get a chance in this half again.
The special teams unit out for the Pirates. I don't have the stat directly in front of me, but I do not believe that they have tried any type of secret plays in special teams. Here comes the punt. It's a good one. This is end over end, a high one towards the 15-yard line, and it takes a Pirates bounce all the way down to the Raiders. We'll call it 6-yard line, and the Raiders will get their football to start at the 6. 1:32 to go here in the second quarter. Ooh, the Raiders get the football.
And I know in this situation, some offenses might panic a little bit. We got 95 yards to go to the end zone and only 1:30 to do it. But you do have, as you mentioned, all 3 timeouts. I think the key here is not to go away from your offense. Take those short routes. Don't drop back super deep and take a sack because that could end up disastrous for Moorpark. You got to just have something quick. Those quick little screens, but make sure you take care of the football here as you have the entire game. Maybe even start off with a run to Landless.
24-17 is the score right now. 1:32 on the clock in the first half to go. A handoff here on first down. Landless right into the hole, and he's going to dive forward for 2 yards, and that's going to give the Raiders a little bit more room out of their side, out of their end zone, up to the 13-yard line. We'll check that. So a gain of 3 yards on the first carry. Or check that, 2 from the 6. Line to gain will be the 11-yard line. Or check that, the 16-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. You have an extra man in the deep slot next to the line of scrimmage. 1 man out wide to the left side. Throwing here on 2nd down, looking to find a receiver. No! Croton throws right into the hands of Wesley, and that is going to return the football to the Pirates' hands here deep in the red zone. And the Raiders' defense is going to be charged to come out on the field with 51 seconds left to go.
Well, that's the one thing you can't do. I mean, that throw was not there at any point in his progression. Croton just stares it down, and Wesley, he's a great corner. He's leading the team in interceptions. That's his 4th on the year, and that's just a pass that he simply can't make that. I mean, he read it the whole way there, and that's just a costly mistake from Croton, who's played really solid this half, but he slips up in a big moment.
Well, Chris Irvin has an opportunity to make a 2-score game again. 54 seconds on the clock to go here in the first half. In the pistol formation, 3 receivers out to the right side. They have a stacked man on the offensive line. He's coming through the offensive line here. Irvin throwing off of his back foot, finds a receiver, but it was incomplete, and that was almost into the hands of a running over defensive back of the Raiders, and I believe it was Curtis Jackson who, man, if you're looking for somebody to make a big play themselves, that is not the guy to throw the football towards.
No, I mean, both quarterbacks, I'm a little confused right now. You're throwing at the most lethal defensive backs on the field, both leading their team in interceptions.
46.8 to go here. 3 receivers again out to the right. Now 1 properly in the slot position on the left side. Throwing here is Irvin. Throws over the middle, finds a receiver, looking for a little bit of velocity as he's coming towards the end zone, and he's going to be hit at the 4-yard line as the Raiders defensive backs do a great job of stopping the football before it gets too close.
Well, some stuff going on in the back of the end zone as well. And I'm not sure if there's a Ventura player
Yeah, there's a Ventura
There's
player
something
over there
going
getting
on,
tied up, and that's
yeah.
Lamont James jarring and getting into the face of a couple Moorpark players. We have a Raiders player with his helmet off.
Luis Hernandez needs to be careful. You can't cost your team a penalty, or we've seen too many to count tonight.
So the clock is stopped at 34 seconds, or 35.3, but we'll call it 34. And I think the Raiders might be wise to call a timeout here, as they do. So we will take a step away ourselves. Raiders 17, Pirates 24. It's a huge situation, and the Raiders need to talk it over, and we'll take a break ourselves. You're watching Raider football on SoCal College Sports. Well, the Raiders defense, 3rd down and 4, and what do the Pirates do if they get stumped here on 3rd down? They have a lone receiver very, very far down here on the near sideline. One receiver stacked up top, and they have a heavy offensive line. We'll see what they choose to do here. Irvin, snap is up and over his head. He's going to be contacted, throwing towards the end zone. Intercepted! That football is intercepted, and the Raiders will take back over. 27.9 on the clock, and the Raiders come up with the biggest turnover that they could possibly come up with in this second half.
Well, Jaden Shakir made a great job. He stuck with his man the whole play. Didn't get out of sorts because of the fumble, and Irvin tried to do way too much with a broken play, especially in a situation with 27 seconds left where you can extend your lead to 2 possessions. That's a mistake he can't make. But Shakir, we know he has the good hands. To start the Raiders season on their opening drive, he had a crazy one-handed catch down the sidelines, and he's got great hands. Amazing play there for Shakir. Absolutely perfect for Moorpark. And I think they're going to kneel the ball here, and that's what you got to do. You go into the half very happy if you're the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders, 2 timeouts. The Pirates with 3 remaining. We'll see exactly what they want to do here. I think the Pirates can call the timeout if they want to be a little bit tough to deal with here, but they will choose to walk off the field, and that will be the end of the first half. Ladies and gentlemen, the 55th edition of the Citrus Cup. Action-packed in the first half. 17 points for the Raiders, 24 for the Pirates. Don't go anywhere, fans. We will be back with the second half kickoff and a little bit of halftime review. This is SoCal College Sports coverage of Raider football.
offense, too.
Well, we are back after halftime. We are just about ready for kickoff here in the second half. Remember, the Raiders won the coin toss. They elected to return the football in the second half, and that is exactly what they're getting ready to do. As you see Noah Cronquist out onto the field to return the football. Score at halftime is 24-17. I'm Emery Johnson alongside Luke Lamont. Luke, do you have any stats that kind of jump off the page from you in the first half?
Well, I got a couple here. Moorpark sitting at only 29 rushing yards, but they've been very consistent, only 14 attempts on that. They've done a good job. Ventura leads with 65. And then in the passing game, Croton leads passing with 216 yards to Irvin's 203. And Moorpark, in fact, actually leads the game in first downs, picked up 14 on the day for them, only to Ventura's 13.
Well, Cronquist ready to return the football. He is the lone man center back. He's returned most of them towards the near sideline as we get ready for the Pirates to start things here in the third quarter. Remember, Raiders able to come up with a big interception there in the back of the end zone, and we will get underway now. From the 14-yard line, Cronquist able to return the football back up to the 25, finds a hole down to the 32, the 35, up on his feet to the 40, and he's going to be hit and brought down at the 43-yard line, and the Raiders able to get a big return here to start off the second half, and that's exactly the spark that the Raiders needed, is a big play from Cronquist.
Well, they're starting with the ball near midfield now, and based on how the offense has been working their drives outside of that last possession, obviously, where Croton had the interception, and then we need the ball down and the half, but they've been really good, really consistent, really solid. I really want to see what they can pull out for this second half.
Croton in the gun, two receivers to his left, two to his right, as we will get set to see how the VC defense has changed their tactics. Croton looking to throw here on first down, fires over to Simmons. Simmons able to move forward, makes a move, and cuts up the field for a couple more extra yards. He's able to get 5 out of it as he started from the 44-yard line. Line to gain will be the 46 of Ventura. He is stopped at the 49-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up.
Well, they're sticking with that short game plan. I mean, you hit it underneath the Simmons, good route there. That's what's worked all night for Moorpark, and they got to keep it going.
Bunched receivers to the left side. Cronquist now in motion. He's going to be standing next to Croton out of the gun. He's going to handle a bad snap as it's over his head. He's going to be knocked down all the way to the 33-yard line. Mark at 32. No, they'll have it at the 32. 33. You see the referee on the near sideline stepping back and forth and back and forth. It's hard to keep account of where the ball is going. 3rd down and now really long coming up. So a big play is needed here for the Raiders.
Well, that's oftentimes what you kill, a drive killer of a play. But granted, it's still 3rd down, but that's a lot of ground to make up now for Croton in the offense.
Charlie Simmons checked in besides Croton. Trips receivers to his left, one to his right, puts Simmons in motion out towards the far sideline. Looking to throw here, has time to throw, fires over the middle, finds a receiver, and that's a caught football from Tyson Moten, and just shy or maybe the first down, and it will be the first down. A Raiders first down moves the football all the way up to the 45-yard line of Ventura College, and we have 33-37 on the clock ticking down here in the third quarter.
And they're attacking the seams, and that's what's going to work against this cover 3 defense that Ventura is running, and we've seen a lot throughout the game. And they hit Cronquist on the touchdown the one time, and now Moten, huge first down.
Getting Ventura to jump off sides here. Free play coming up. Far pass down the left sideline. Got football. River Stout have a day as he makes another big catch, and the Raiders move the chains once again down to the 15-yard line.
Well, that's the second time River Stout has had that free play go deep down the sidelines. And he's done a great job recognizing that, and great connection between him and Croton. I'm sure they practiced that throughout the week, knowing that that's your target you want to go to on a jump ball.
So the Raiders, with time to get set up here, there will be 3 bunched receivers on the trip side to the left and 1 out wide to the right side. Throwing here, and this football is tipped at the line way out of bounds. I think the penetration coming from the defensive end, Damian Reyes.
Well, it's a great defensive play. I mean, you know Moorpark's been wanting to run these short routes and screens. You talk to your D lineman at halftime. Get your hands up if you're not going to get to the quarterback, and it works out perfectly for him.
Check that. I don't have a number for the defensive lineman who got his hand up. Throwing here on 2nd down, and this one right in and out of the hands of Khalil Reed, the defensive back. And Croton almost makes a huge mistake here on 2nd down. So 3rd down and 10 coming up from the 15-yard line.
Well, now, honestly, from Moorpark, based on how this game's gone, you can go short here and try to just pick up some yards and potentially set yourself up for 4 down territory. definitely have to keep it in the cards. And
Split back offense here for the Raiders. It's Simmons and Landless out beside Croton. Croton running towards inside pitch to Landless as he's going to be pushed forward in the pile, and forward progress is going to be stopped now as he gets a gain of what looks to be 7 yards, mark at 5. Down to the 10-yard line. Line to gain will be the 5-yard line. So exactly what you're talking about here, Luke, potentially a fourth down situation, but we'll see the special teams unit of the Raiders come onto the field, and Daniel Burke will have to kick a field goal here, his second of the day.
And I like that they put that into the game plan there at halftime. I mean, they had a lot of option plays, RPOs, read options for Croton. And then you put in the triple option. That was something we mentioned throughout the first half, is maybe you had another guy into that offensive scheme, make it tougher on the Pirates to really commit to either players.
Burke getting lined up here. Snap is down, kick is up. And that one is up and good. So the Raiders will make it 20-24. This game is still a one-score game, and Ventura College will get the football back with 12:13 on the clock to go here in the third quarter.
Well, and Ventura on that drive, that defense, I mean, you could walk away being happy you only gave up 3 points, especially against a red-hot offense and a handful of penalties against you. But that third down is going to be in the back of your mind saying, dang, we should have gave up no points on that drive. So a win in the end, but something that they definitely are going to have to work on. Can't be giving up those third down and 20-plus yard situations.
Well, the Raiders walking away with points on their first drive of the game. Check that of the half. 12:10 on the clock to go in the third quarter. It'll be a question of who is to return the football for Ventura here. Again, if you look at their return stats, it's like the never-ending list of players. This football kicked out of bounds, and there will be a penalty called.
Well, that's a tough start for Moorpark special teams unit. I mean, you get the field goal, obviously, but then kick out of bounds, that just sets up Ventura, who's themselves, you can't shy away from the fact that they've been really good on offense. I mean, both offenses kind of sputtered out in that last 3 minutes of the half, but they've been a really good offense all night long. I mean, they've ripped off big play after big play, consistently getting across midfield. So this is a tough task for the Raider defense, and Ventura a really great opportunity with good field position to answer to the field goal.
So the football will be placed on the 35-yard line. Decent starting position. It'll always be important to note whether or not they'll choose to go with another quarterback, but Irvin for now will stay in as the hot hand. Handoff here on first down, and they'll hand it off to Thompson, who breaks off a big run. Here he goes down the right sideline, and there's nobody in front of him as he's getting pursued by a couple of Raiders down to the 10 and into the end zone. One play, one touchdown for Ventura.
Well, that's just missed tackling by Moorpark. Thompson, great job staying on his feet, and then just the elite speed, just blazing down the sidelines. Exactly the answer the Pirates needed. We're back to the same situation. You can wipe that field goal right off the board. In fact, actually, the Pirates extend their lead now. And that's one where Moorpark had him. I mean, Nares and I believe that was Luis Henderson. Yes, that was Luis Henderson there. And just Hernandez not able to make the play.
Extra point up from Pimentel. That one is good.
Well, there's flags apparently on the field. There's one spotted at the 3-yard line.
Interesting.
Oftentimes you see a penalty like that placed there. It's probably against the defending team. You could see something like a illegal rush on the center. You could see using your other players to push yourself up into the air. This could be against Moorpark.
Well, we have the referee with the football in hand. We'll see exactly where they want to place it for the kickoff.
Well, they're going to go unsportsmanlike against the Pirates.
That would be to be expected after today's game so far.
Yeah, we've seen it from both sides. Yeah. Just a handful. I mean,
no surprises there.
Both teams, if you have a good penalty yard average per game, you can throw it out the window after tonight.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, nothing to be too surprised about here in the Citrus Cup. Always a very high energy game. The rivalry between these two teams extending 55 years since Moorpark College was established. Pimento set to kick off here. To Cronquist around his 23-yard line. Here he comes with the return. Cuts it back outside, and he's going to get hit with contact up to the 30. We'll call it 7. We'll see if he made the 8-yard line. Has it up to the 38. So the Raiders will take over with 11:53 left to go here in the third quarter. The Raiders offense need to establish the same exact type of game they had on their first drive in this half.
Well, that offense did a great job, drove down the field pretty quickly. I mean, both teams' offenses, you can give them an A-plus grade thus far, especially Ventura, man, being on the field for only one play and ripping off a huge touchdown run. And we'll see if Moorpark's able to respond. I mean, down 11 now, 2 scores once again.
Throwing here on first down, hits Cronquist over the middle, able to make a move all the way up to the 45-yard line of the Pirates, and the Raiders responding big with their first play of this second drive. And we have a player down for Ventura for a second, and that's Elijah Hamilton on the ground.
I'm not sure what happened there. Could just be a cramp as he's already back up on his feet. We'll hope he's all right.
So he is off the field. Raiders 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Line to gain will be the 35 of the Pirates. Croton in the pistol formation. 2 receivers to his right side. Handoff, and it's going to be a flea flicker dropped by Croton. Croton just holds on to the football, and he falls down around his 39-yard line.
Well, that one's unfortunate because Cronquist had the ability to run to the edge there and definitely pick up some yardage. And then Croton, that's just unfortunate dropping the ball there. I mean, it seemed like the secondary for Ventura played that play really well. It's just the edge for Cronquist was there. And, you know, he's following the play design, tossing it back, but just unfortunate play call from Moorpark.
Well, second, and what we will call is 24 yards. Throwing here on second down, fires over the middle, hits Simmons. Simmons able to move the football to the 38-yard line, and the Raiders now in 3rd and manageable after a long 2nd and 24.
Well, that was just a great play up the seam, and you had the middle linebacker, that was Anthony Albanez, almost getting there. That's a good job by him adjusting to what's worked for Moorpark, and that's up the seams. Sort of flows with Simmons just a little bit too late and just can't get underneath it enough. But a great throw from Croton. That sets up easy 3rd down territory compared to what they would have had before if that one fell incomplete.
Split backs for the Raiders offense on 3rd down and 3. Throwing all the way over the middle, and Cronquist not able to hold on to the football, and that was juggled a little bit. And we have a flag down.
This one's going against Ventura.
Ventura cannot help but commit the personal fouls.
I believe the defensive end tried to get back towards his own side, ended up either tripping or sort of kicking Croton while he was on the ground in a sort of way, but contact late that the officials obviously were not too happy with.
We'll see if we catch it.
Well, just out of sight for the camera. But this should be,
and the flag
they're going to wave off the flag.
Potentially could have been a roughing the passer penalty called for a late hit on the quarterback, but I don't think it was too late. It was right after he delivered it.
Yeah, I think that was a clean hit. Maybe if you're playing in the NFL in recent years, that one could be called. But
oh, you know, if Tom Brady is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, personally, that's a clean football hit. That's just a good pass rush getting through. And obviously, you got to pressure the quarterback. In a rivalry game, you're going to try to send a physical message.
Offense stays out on the field for the Raiders. We'll call it 4th down and 3. Trips receivers out to the left for Croton. Croton throwing here on 4th down, fires over the middle, hits Cronquist, and Cronquist is hit up in the air. We'll see if he had the line to gain, and we have the referees coming over saying 1st down.
Well, that's perfect placement for a Cronquist route. That's right on the line. Actually, we do get a signal now from the white hat. That's a 1st down.
So the flag will go. The Pirates with their hands up saying that was held up. The Raiders excited for the 1st down.
Well, that's one of those things, kind of tie goes to the runner like in baseball. That's right on the line, and you got there. It's placed perfectly on the 35.
Yeah, well, and Cronquist putting his body on the line. I mean, he jumped up, knew he was going to take the hit, and he does anyways. Fresh set of downs for the Raiders from the 35-yard line, stepping up and making a pass over towards the near sideline, and that's going to be incomplete, targeting Charlie Simmons.
That's good coverage in the back end there by Wesley to stay underneath Simmons and force Croton to put a little too much air on that ball. He's been all over the field, no matter who he guards. I mean, he's guarded Simmons, Cronquist, Moten. He's been everywhere, and he's made a couple plays tonight, including that interception late in the 1st half.
2nd and 10 here for Croton. Trips receivers to his right, one to his left. Out of the gun. Looking to throw again, fires out of the backfield. He's going to hit Landless, who makes a move all the way up to the 25-yard line, and he's going to be stopped just shy, but that sets up a very short 3rd down.
Well, if you want Moorpark, hurry on the ball and run your tush-push play that you worked earlier down near the goal line that you ended up picking up a 1st down on 4th and short.
9:10 on the clock, ticking down. Landless still in as the back. 3 receivers to the right, 1 left. That's River Stout. Gets the free play. Here they go. Defense has jumped off sides. Far pass down the left side. Stout not able to make the catch, but it'll be a 1st down for the Raiders as Croton executes the perfect delayed cap.
And he's doing a great job at it, especially because Ventura's pass rush against such a air raid offense like Moorpark, you're on your toes a little bit more. You're a little bit more jumpy, ready to get that start because you know it's a pass play for the most part. And you don't have to really stay home for the run. And he's taking advantage of the fact that Ventura is gearing up for a heavy, quick, and fast pass rush. He's doing a great job, and Ventura's got to be a little bit more disciplined or that play's going to keep happening all night.
So 1st down from the Raiders from the 21-yard line. Split backs once again, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball is placed on the right hash. Handoff to the right side, making a move, jumping in is Simmons. Simmons down to the 5-yard line and a huge gain after what looked to be Simmons getting tied up by tackles just after the line of scrimmage. My goodness. The Raiders deep within the red zone now from the 4-yard line.
Well, Simmons played a handful of snaps in his senior season at Newberry Park High at the running back position. Ran for over 300 yards that season. There you go. He's a utility player. I mean, he's one of those guys who've gotten a lot of screen passes to him because they know what he can do in space.
Well, here comes the heavy offensive line that they've ran semi-successfully in the 1st half. Landless in the deep eye. And we have Croton under center here. Toss to Landless. Landless trying to make a move, and he's blown up behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to be dropped for a loss of 3 yards.
Well, I'm going to be honest here. Of every single play in the history of football, my absolute least favorite play inside the 5-yard line is a toss. It is hands down the statistically worst play to run on the goal line. I mean, you're losing yourself 5 yards right off the jump, especially if you don't get all your blocks. I really don't like that play call for Moorpark. I think a toss when you're on the 3 is just a simple way to lose yards.
No toss power trap for you?
No. Anytime you're losing 5 yards when you're 2 yards away from the end zone, it's not a smart play call, in my opinion.
From the 8-yard line, throwing to Cronquist, making a move, trying to jump forward. He's got to the original line of scrimmage. Cronquist down to the 3-yard line. And the Raiders able to make a positive play here on 2nd down. This brings up 3rd and goal, and it will be spotted at the 2-yard line. So 3rd and goal from the 2, 7:20 ticking down. Here in the 3rd quarter, the Raiders giving their defense plenty of time to rest and recover here on the sideline. But remember, Ventura obviously scheming and coming up with their offensive plans here.
You got to put the ball in the air on this play.
Croton throwing here on third down. This football almost picked off.
You got to go for it in this situation. You could make it a one-possession game. You're down 2 scores. You can make it an 8-point game. I mean, still a ton of time left, but at the end of the day, you're at the 2-yard line. You don't know when you're going to get back in this situation. They're sending out the field goal unit. I understand the offense has not been great inside the 5-yard line tonight, but I would say for Moorpark, you need a statement, especially Ventura's offense has run 1 play in this half and scored a touchdown. I mean, you need to come up with a response here, and I don't think a field goal is good enough.
Daniel Burke on to attempt the field goal. This will be a 19-yard try. This kick is up and good, so the Raiders will make it.
Flags coming out again.
31, and we have flags coming out again. This will most likely be enforced on the kickoff.
I saw some reactions from the Pirates that could lead me to believe that this is against them. We'll have to wait for the officials.
And we have hands being waved from the Raiders offensive line, indicating the same. So the Pirates will return the football. We'll see where it's placed here.
It should be placed on the 50-yard line, 15 yards from the 35.
And it is being placed at the 35. Personal foul, and the referee just ran all the way to the 35 to place it down at the 50.
Hey, he did that last time, running towards the 35 to go all the way back to the 10, or 20 rather.
Cardio, you know.
Yeah.
6:58 on the clock to go in this third quarter.
As we just got word, in the first half alone, Ventura 10 penalties, Moorpark 8, both for over 100 total yards. That's, I mean, as you mentioned throughout the night, Emery, it's the Citrus Cup. I mean, a lot of those are personal foul penalties, and 15 yards stacks up pretty quickly when you have a handful of those.
Well, and they made the announcement that it was enough distance to make it to Ventura. I was skeptical at first, but I believe that it might be closer than we think.
I mean, 200 yards, 40 miles. That's
close.
We're about there.
Yeah.
Well, if Moorpark, they have gone a squib kick a handful of times tonight, this could favor them here as they try to pin Ventura deep. Rather, they might just take a touchback as well.
Squib kick on the ground. Doing some funny stuff, bouncing around, and here we go with the return for Ventura at the 10-yard line, coming outside, and they're going to be up to the 20, now up to the 25, and now pushed out of bounds. The Pirates not able to get the full return, but a good job to bring it up to about the 23.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good play call for Moorpark, just squibbing it, trying to pin him deep, but even better answer from Ventura. I mean, you have a squib kick, best thing to do, go outside. I mean, the guys are going to be flying down knowing that, thinking they could be the hero on that play that tackles you at the 10-yard line. Ventura takes advantage.
Well, the Ventura offense, 1 play in this half, 1 touchdown.
Well, Ventura ran this formation earlier in the first half. I'm a huge fan of the matchup that it leaves Moorpark in with just a corner and a safety on either stack.
Well, out on an island is going to be the receiver on the far sideline, and that was stacked receivers on that side, and they're going to hit their number 1 receiver, Eli Aragon.
Well, the reason why that just allows for a quick, easy catch. You mean you have that guy up on the line block, the guy who's pressed on him, and you can do a slant, a bubble, a smoke screen, anything you want pretty much with that off receiver.
Aragon caught 6-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 4 now coming up. Trips receivers way far out on the left side, and here comes the pressure from Casillas. This pass up and over the top, and a good catch and reception to the receiver number 14. Cody Hoffman, the tight end.
Oh, that's a perfect play design. You run a smoke screen. What do you do the next play? Opposite side, different formation. Run a sucker route, pump fake the smoke screen right up the seam. That's a great offensive play call for the Pirates.
2 receivers up top at the right, 1 on the near side, and they have a tight end in on the slot. And here they go with the run play to Lamont James. James out through the hole in the through the defensive line, and he's going to have a first down to the Raiders' 29-yard line.
Well, this is an issue Moorpark wasn't having in the first half, but now they are. I mean, Ventura's shaking off a lot of tackles. I mean, there were 2 broken tackles on the touchdown play and on that play as well. That springs them free for an extra handful of yards.
Stacked receivers all on the top of the screen there, and this is a delayed handoff. This one to Thompson as he stays on his feet and is finally knocked down. Yeah, these broken tackles are starting to make a little bit of an impact. In correction there, that was Lamont James on the carry.
The yards after contact are starting to pile up against the Raiders, and that's one of the biggest things they can't allow. They were doing phenomenal stopping run, only 65 rushing yards allowed in the first half.
Handoff again to James. James is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped at the 20-yard line for a loss.
Morales, great job.
Yeah, Arnulfo Morales able to finally make that penetration. I think that was where you have your defensive linemen actually getting the penetrations through the offensive line and making the correct judgment as they come through and grab the tackle the way they need to. 3 receivers to the top right. On the far side, 1 on the short hash on the near side. 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Another handoff and a slip tackle once again. Hit out of bounds is going to be James. And there's going to be a flag out for late contact. That was a terrible call from the referee.
Number 17 for the Raiders.
That's Cy Maria.
He put his hands up while just running towards the plate. He was just taking his pursuit angle. That's an interesting call there. I don't think you can call that because he's not attempting at all to hit him late. It's just the momentum carries James out of bounds, and he's stumbling on the play already to begin with.
And they're going to call the personal foul.
Well,
that's a really bad call.
In terms of what we've seen tonight, that is not up to par with what the other personal foul calls have been against
that
either team, rather.
Unintentional contact.
You know, whether it be Ventura, I mean, they've had plays where they've had light contact like that as well, and same with Moorpark throughout the night. There's been plays where it's a little chippy after, and still nothing comes out. That's an interesting call.
Yeah. 2 receivers up at the top of the screen, and they'll be handing it off here on first down, trying to make a move as James again. He's going to be swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And we have a big play there on the near sideline, and no flag. Are you kidding me?
That's what we're kind of talking about here. That is well after the whistle when he gets thrown onto the ground.
Yeah, Tiandre Newcomb is just fighting basically fighting his man that he's getting blocked by over there on the near sideline. You'll see this at the bottom of your screen. Watch this. He's coming over, pushing, whistle's blown, pushing, and then eventually
whistle's blown well before.
Yeah.
That's one of the situations where the referees need to get the game under control because right now it's completely out of control because the calls are not matching up for either teams.
No.
I mean, both teams have really been, I don't want to say screwed over, but they've really had some calls that should have been called for either team. I'm not just saying for Moorpark specifically, but both teams have had some rough calls that really just are questionable.
2nd and goal from the 10-yard line and a handoff here. Again, a throw over the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown to the tight end. And Cody Hoffman able to catch his second touchdown, or check that second good catch of this half.
Well, and Hoffman's done a great job getting open in the seam. I mean, he's really found his spot in this game. That's his 3rd catch on the same route, just straight up the middle. Moorpark's having a really tough time manning him up, and that's a great route. If you look at the replay, he fakes for a block and then swims inside of the right tackle. Actually, no, he faked back outside, but just a great job because it sends Sal Maria on a blitz thinking he's blocking.
Extra point up and good. That's going to make the score 38-23. So the Pirates extending on their lead. Again, a 2-score game here.
Well, Moorpark needs to respond. I mean, you kick the field goal, but Ventura has put up back-to-back touchdowns on drives that have looked impressive. Their offense has not really been stopped. I mean, they've had especially the run game is really kicking into gear, especially that huge run to start the second half. It puts Moorpark in a situation where now I think it's 4-down territory. You have to make a play. You have to make a statement play. It's a 15-point game, and you're closing in on the 4th quarter. If Moorpark's able to score a touchdown specifically, make this a 1-possession game going into the 4th. They have to feel good about that, but their defense really needs to figure out this Ventura offense in this second half because it's a completely different team.
Ventura strong here in the second half. 4 minutes even to go in the 3rd quarter. Cronquist, the man out deep to return the football. Here comes the kick. Short one. Up to the 20-yard line. Cronquist returns the football from the 21, cutting outside, and he's going to try and find a lane, and he's going to be hit and brought down and thrown over top. and that was a big tackle.
That's a statement. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the energy. Look at Moorpark's sideline compared to Ventura's. It's not even similar in any sort of way. There's no comparison that you can make. Moorpark looks dead in the water right now, while Ventura's got all the energy in the world. And that's why it's key for this offense to do something this drive. I mean, you got under 4 minutes to go. You got to figure something out.
So 3:53 on the clock here in the third quarter. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left for Croton. Cronquist in motion. Here comes the shotgun snap, throwing here on first down, firing over the middle to no one. Tyson Moten in the area. He wasn't even turned around.
Not able to get open enough in time for that one, but and Moorpark's really tried to work deeper over the middle of the field in this game, and I'm confused why they're going away from what was working. You got to chip away at this Ventura defense. They're not going to give up the big play all the time. They gave up one to Cronquist. I highly doubt that really happens again in this game. They're a very well-coached team and disciplined defense. They're not going to give up 50-yard touchdowns throughout the entirety of the game.
Little shuttle pass up the middle, and this is going to be a big run coming from by way of Landless. My goodness, here comes the first down for the Raiders up to the 44, check that 43-yard line.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the longest run for Moorpark's season on the offensive end right there. And they're sticking with that triple option shuffle pass. There's a injured Ventura Pirate on the field. And he's up on his feet again, jumping towards the sideline. Hope the best for him and hope he's all right. Yeah, he's dancing. He seems to be okay. So good news for Ventura. Great run from Landless, really, to start this drive after that incompletion.
3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. On the left hash is Croton throwing here on first down. Under pressure, hit as he thrown, and this football's intercepted. Overthrown football to Tyson Moten, and that was right into the hands of the defensive back.
Yeah, Croton's still down on the play where he got hit.
And there's going to be a timeout called for injury, and Croton is down.
Seems to be he's getting his leg stretched out for, hopefully for Moorpark, this is just a cramp. But he's looking for Moten on that play, and that connection just hasn't been there early on in the second half. And it's a disciplined team. I mean, you overthrow the post route by just a little bit, and safety's going to be waiting.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching SoCal College Sports coverage of Moorpark Raider football. We'll see you in just a moment. Well, we were just talking about it off camera. The Raiders have really stepped away from what they were doing that was successful earlier on in this game. And a huge tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And that's how your defense comes back out onto the field as the pass was completed to Oregon. But running over was, I believe, Placide making that tackle there.
Yeah, Placide making a great play. He's really stepped up these last few games from Moorpark. I mean, he's had a tough go tonight with a couple routes up the seam, one of them to Hoffman. Actually, Hoffman's first catch of the night was against Placide.
2nd and 14 coming up. Short pass over the middle, and this could have been intercepted. My goodness. Thrown right at Nico Nares, and I don't know what Urban was thinking.
This is a big chance for this defense. This is one of the biggest plays for Moorpark of the entire game because you just got a turnover down 2 possessions. This is big. You need to get off the field here, especially if you force a 3 and out. That gives your offense a chance to, turn the page quickly, forget about the interception, and try to move on.
3rd down and 14 coming up. The Raiders defense maybe with a chance to stop this thing here. Far pass down the near sideline. It's going to be up and broken up, and the Raiders force a 4th down as a huge defensive play is made by Javon Evans here on the near sideline.
Well, that's just perfect coverage. Evans was step for step with him the whole way. Does a great job shooting the hands at the perfect time, limiting contact. That's just a great defensive play right there. You can't ask for much more. That's what you need as a defensive back, especially on a deep ball and a game where there's been a lot of flags. I mean, limit the contact. Great play by Evans, and Moorpark defense does exactly what they need to do. They get off the field quickly.
Here comes some whistles. We'll see who it's called by. Looks like a timeout from the Raiders. It was the punting unit out for the Pirates. And just a quick update here on the near sideline as we have Vincent Walea warming up to throw the football. He's only been out 1 time before. He is the second quarterback on the depth chart here for the Raiders, so he is warming up on the near sideline.
When his stats on the season don't really show what he's capable of. As you mentioned,
no
he's
stats.
only been out. He does have 1 completion on the season on 7 attempts for -2 yards late in that El Camino game. That's not really something you can really gauge a quarterback off of.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, Cronquist out deep to return the punt. He's standing around the 35-yard line. Zane Carter on the field to punt for Ventura. Punt is up and away and almost tipped. Cronquist catches the football. He's going to be hit by contact, but stays on his feet up to the 30, up to the 40, up to the 45, up to the 50, back down to the 40 of Ventura, to the 35, to the 30, and a huge return for the Raiders. And this might be the play that can change things around as the Raiders get a huge return.
Well, that's the special teams ace up the sleeve for Moorpark. He's your best receiver. Surprise, surprise, he's your best returner. He's got 2 punt return touchdowns on the season. Another huge return. It might not have gone for 6, but it certainly helps set them up for an opportunity.
Gosh, that football almost tipped. But my goodness.
We do have Croton back in the game.
So Croton is back out onto the field. He's getting his hamstring area, looked like it was getting touched up by the athletic trainers there on the near sideline. Split back formation for the Raiders. Handoff to, I believe, Simmons. And it is. Gain of 3 yards. Up to the 27.
Well, Moorpark has to be careful here. With that last interception, you're forcing the ball downfield. That's one of the biggest things they couldn't do coming into this game, and they were doing great at it in the first half. Really have gone away with it, as you mentioned.
From the 26-yard line, throwing here over the middle. Simmons with the catch. He doubles back, but he's able to dive forward, I think, with forward progress, at least up to the 21-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the first down.
Well, that's just a great play design. I mean, great route by Simmons. Halfback angle right out of the backfield. You make the outside linebacker bite that you're on the flat. Second he does, cut that thing back inside like a slant. Croton does a great job having the patience to find it.
So the line to gain will be the 19-yard line. It's 3rd and 2 coming up. The Raiders still with split backs here to provide coverage, at least maybe some protection for Croton. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 on the near hash. Backs changing positions. It's Landless and Simmons. Here comes the 3rd down. Croton swallowed up, and he's going to be tackled in a sack. I don't even think he made it back to the line of scrimmage.
It looked like he wanted to pitch it out to Simmons on the option, but just didn't have a chance to. There's a defensive end screaming off the side, but on 3rd down, that's an interesting play call than what you've worked with. You just had Simmons out of the backfield wide open on a route. You've had the screens open all night long. I'm just a little confused at why Moorpark has decided to throw away their game plan that has put them in the game against the Pirates when that is not something that has really happened in recent years, if we're being honest here.
5 seconds on the play clock here. The Raiders better hurry up. 4 receivers out for the Raiders. Snap is on time. Here comes the throw. Short pass thrown to Landless, and it's incomplete. It's going to be a turnover. So the Raiders not able to get it done on 4th down, and the Pirates will take over from their own 24-yard line.
Just very confused at the Moorpark offense and why they've decided to change their game plan that has kept them in it against the Pirates the entire night. The offense looked the best we've seen the entire year.
At the end of that second
Completely
half,
the entire year.
Quarter.
I mean, they looked better than we've ever seen before. Croton was hitting passes. The offensive line was giving them great time. Receivers were getting open. Plays were working. And now we've gone back to the offense that we've seen in the beginning of the season. And you got to give credit to the Ventura defense, too. I mean, they got a lot of pressure on that 4th down play to force the quick throw.
3 receivers out to the left side here, throwing in the screen, and that's going to be a pass to Newcomb. Newcomb trying to get to the edge, and he's going to be hit by contact and not finally pushed down. Here comes the tackles outside of the field of play, but no flag now. And I think he was lucky to get up to the line of scrimmage, which is at the 24-yard line. This will be the end of the 3rd quarter, so you're watching Raiders football here on SoCal College Sports. Pirates 38, Raiders 23. Don't go anywhere. So the Pirates defense now on the other side of the field. Starting from the 22-yard line, and it's going to be a handoff on the left side, and here comes another long run for the Ventura offense, and it's going to be James down the far sideline all the way up to the Raiders' 45-yard line.
Unfortunately for the Moorpark, that outside of the defense is starting to get worn down by this run game, and it shows. Great vision from James to bounce that outside and keep it going, but the front 7 of Ventura is doing a really good job, really front 5, I should say, doing a good job at counteracting the front 7 of Moorpark and keeping them sort of on their heels.
Here comes the pressure from the Raiders in the face of Irvin, gets the football off, caught football down to the 5-yard line and out of bounds.
That's an incredible catch. I mean, he is looking over his head. That is not something that's easy to do, to track the ball. Great concentration there for the catch. Unbelievable.
I just put almost in the perfect spot. Irvin knew he was going to get blown up on the play regardless. So ball is placed on the 4-yard line, and here comes the run right into the end zone. Touchdown, Ventura. Lamont James pretty much goes untouched all the way into the end zone.
That's like clockwork. I mean, it might as well not even seem like the defense was out there. It didn't really. I mean, a big run, big pass, easy run untouched. I mean, that run probably could have gone for a lot more if they weren't already on the 5. And I really don't understand what Moorpark has done at halftime or what adjustments may have been made, but you need to throw them all out the window right now or this game's going to get out of hand. And we're talking about a game that was one possession at halftime with Moorpark getting the ball, and it's in the situation now where you're scrambling for comeback mode because you changed when Ventura didn't. And that was one of the biggest keys for Moorpark being able to win this game, was forcing Ventura to change before they did, and they have completely failed in that aspect.
Well, certainly something to change the tides here is necessary. The Raiders' special teams unit has been successful tonight in moving the football. And it looks like the Raiders were getting set up on the wrong side of the field.
It kind of just goes to show the half and that they've been having. It just a lot of hope coming into this half on the Moorpark end of things, and Ventura a lot to work on, and clearly it shows who did the right things at halftime. Ventura has come out swinging with a great game plan. They stuck to their guns, and Moorpark, for some reason, has changed. And I have no explanation as to why.
45-23, 13:44 left to go in this ball game. It's Pimentel getting ready to kick off this football.
As much as you don't want to put things in this perspective, this is kind of a do-or-die drive for the Raiders here.
Yeah, they have to score here.
It's touchdown or bust from here on out on every time they touch the ball.
Short kick right around the 25-yard line, and here comes the return from the Raiders. Up to the 33.
We'll see if they go back to the quick offense that was working. The worst thing Moorpark can do here is think that they are in that situation where you need to force it downfield like we have been this half. You got to be able to put yourself back in a situation. There's plenty of time. This game is by no means over, and no means do you need to change what you're doing on offense in terms of you have to go deep and rip off chunk plays. Just make the smart decision, and you'll be all right.
Pass over the middle of Cronquist, and he's going to be hit. And a little contact after the play, but not enough to get the flag thrown. Second and 10 coming up from the Raiders 33.
Well, he had Cronquist in a really tight window between the linebackers, just a little bit ahead of him. Cronquist knew he was going to take a hit there. He's unable to haul it in.
Three receivers to the top of the screen, one to the near side. Delayed handoff here. And a little gain to Landless, back up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Moorpark here, you got to rip off some yards. I mean, you go 3 and out here, that kind of puts the nail in the coffin almost. The way this Ventura offense has been moving this half, there's no sign of slowing them down. You had the 1 3 and out that you looked great on. Aside from that, it's been a cakewalk for the Pirates. Hit that slot receiver up the seam.
Throwing here on third down. Time to throw. Near side, throws to Simmons. Able to haul it in, and a first down for the Raiders.
Well, that's a break for the Pirates. Simmons had a flat-out touchdown. He was wide open, no one covering him within 10 yards, and just Crowden way underthrows that.
Yeah.
And he's lucky Simmons gets back to that ball.
Simmons just did a great job of returning to the football there.
Well, he definitely helps out his quarterback.
Yeah, from the 47-yard line of the Pirates. Throwing on first down. Time to throw here. Throws it low and incomplete. That was to Landless.
That one again, Croton, I don't know what's going on with him this drive, but those are two really, really underthrown passes. I mean, those are at the feet of the receivers. And if they're accurate, it's either a touchdown, and that one probably goes for a first down. And he really has to get a grip on this ball really quickly. I mean, there's 13 minutes left. This is not the time to be having this kind of issue. He's got to get his head back in the game.
River Stout near side, 3 receivers up at the top of the screen. Split backs. Check that, 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Split backs here for Croton. Trying to catch Ventura on the hard count. Pitch inside to Landless. Landless is going to be wrapped up around the helmet, but he stays up on his feet. He's all the way down to the 40-yard line.
Well, this run play really the only one that's worked from Moorpark on the night, and I'm surprised they haven't decided to dish it out to Simmons. But Landless putting in some work on the interior.
We are under 13 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Third down and 3 for the Raiders. They are in Ventura territory at the 40-yard line. Faked handoff, throwing on the move, making the catch, jumping over. And that's going to be complete to Simmons. My goodness, how did he hold on to that football?
That's a dangerous pass from Croton. You cannot ask for better coverage if you're Ventura. Player right on his back over top, one right underneath. Just a little bit of over pursuit from the underneath defender allowed him to make that catch.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. 3 receivers bunched up on the near sideline, throwing this to Simmons again. He high points it and makes the catch all the way down to the 6-yard line, and the Raiders on the doorstep again.
Well, Charlie Simmons is clearly a key part of this offense tonight. He's had a great game, and he's showing out on this drive. He's really boosting the stats up for him and helping his team out, trying to stick in this one.
Well, the Raiders certainly have to make up some ground here, and this would be end capped well with the touchdown. Throw over the middle, hits Cronquist into that zone, touchdown! The Raiders able to get one back. They're chasing 3, now 2. And my goodness. Well, the Raiders offense needed to respond, and they have done just that. Ventura has taken a little bit off the gas pedal, and will we see the kicking unit out? No. Croton is going to stay onto the field, and I think Coach Stewart is looking at this situation saying we need to get some sort of spark to light the flame.
You'll need the 2-point at some point either way. I mean, an extra point makes it 15, and they just want to get this play out of the way. Because then I mean, if you don't get it, you have 2 more chances that you need to convert afterwards. I think this is the right call.
Croton was under center. This is going to be a long snap and a reverse to Cronquist. Cronquist in the backfield. Is he going to catch the edge? He stays on his feet, throws the football, and it's intercepted in the end zone. So that's going to be a turnover, and my goodness, what kind of play design was that?
That's the Philly special we were talking about earlier in the game. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. But Croton a little too relaxed on that play. You could see that something might be coming. I mean, that's textbook. Everybody started running that play a handful of years ago. I mean, and since then it stayed popular, as you can see. But
yes.
I don't hate it.
No. You know what? I respect the attempt.
The effort. I mean, that's a good drive from Moorpark. You take up 2.5 minutes of clock and score a touchdown. That's exactly what you need to keep yourselves in this game. But now it lies on the defense. I mean, it's been a juggernaut going against them with the Pirate offense.
Burke to kick off here from the right hash. And is it possible that we see an onside kick at this point in the game?
Yeah, definitely. Look how they're lined up. They're threatening it.
And this will be kicked to the 5-yard line, and here comes the return from Ventura, and good protection from the special teams unit of the Raiders as they're able to get the tackle down and stop the return of Ventura.
Well, you got 11:30 left. It's not over. That's the one thing Moorpark has to keep in their head. It's not over, but you need to play better on defense. You need to get a stop. For Ventura, ground and pound.
Yeah.
I mean, this game can be over. You got to just take it in your own hands. I mean, they have the ability to. They have 2 great running backs that have been consistent all year and really taken off in this second half. You got to force feed them.
Here comes the handoff here. It's Thompson. He's going to be swallowed up at the line of scrimmage and brought down after a gain of, we'll call it, 2 or 3. So a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 coming up. Check that. We'll mark it 3. So 2nd and 7. Line to gain will be the 36-yard line. Throwing here on the screen and caught and tackled behind the line of scrimmage, or at the line of scrimmage, is going to be Josh Washington.
Shakir trying to make up for that big catch he gave up, bro. I mean, he had that interception at the end of the half that I'd say makes up for it, but I mean, great play there. I mean, he's one of those guys who's clearly has the ability to just move on. Forget about that play. The next one's all that matters.
3 receivers at the top of your screen here for Ventura, 1 on the near side. The Raiders with a big 3rd down situation here on defense. Throwing all the way is Irvin. Irvin coming out of the pocket. rolling out, and he shot the football! He shot the football! Oh my goodness! And that is going to be a fumble recovered by who? And the Raiders have recovered the football on the Ventura side of the field. 10:24 to go here in the fourth quarter.
We got ourselves a ball game.
And Irvin just makes an unwisely decision to come out of the pocket, and instead of throwing it away there on third down, tries to keep it and run with it as the Raiders defense comes in and comes up with the football.
Well, if we've noticed tonight, Irvin under pressure hasn't looked too good. He rolls out of the pocket, gets a little dicey for him. He's got an interception and a fumble, 2 turnovers while he's pressured. That's the key you got to be telling your defensive linemen. Get pressure.
Well, Morales was the man to come up with the football, but that was a team effort of the defensive line and linebackers of the Moorpark Raiders. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. The game will be the 20 of Ventura. Here comes the snap and a reverse handoff, and here it comes from Simmons. Simmons trying to catch the edge, and he's able to get a couple yards out of it. He was hit with contact and able to make at least some yards back. He'll have a gain of 2 up to the 28-yard line, 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's what we saw in the opening drive for Moorpark. Actually, their first play of the game was that double reverse towards Simmons. And it works out about the same, 2-3 yards.
A positive play, nonetheless. 3 receivers at the top, 1 at the near side. They're on the left hash, 13 seconds to go here on the play clock. Landless moves over to the other side of Croton. Croton gets the free play, and here comes the flag. We'll see if they call for a false start or a neutral zone infraction. It was definitely Ventura jumping off sides, but we'll see. Yep, and it will be. Neutral zone infraction will bring it up 5 yards, so we're at the 28-yard line, and that will bring the football to, we'll call it the 23.
I believe that's the 4th or 5th time that that's happened tonight, and
Getting caught on that hard count, pretty good.
that's going to be something they're going to practice a lot this week, I can guarantee you.
So same formation as before the penalty, and Simmons wide open over the left side, and he's going to be hit and brought down at the 5-yard line. Simmons back up slowly to get up, but my goodness. He took a stinger to the shin there, and he is just trying to get to the line of scrimmage, and he is up okay, and he's ready to play. The Raiders quickly moving as they have Simmons moving out of the way, and now River Stout coming near sidelines as Simmons is going far sideline on the other side. Raiders are going to be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Shotgun snap for Croton, throws into the end zone. Cronquist touchdown, Raiders touchdown! And the Raiders able to force a fumble, come up with another touchdown, 9:08 on the clock left to play.
Well, that's a hat trick for Cronquist, and he can't be having a better night tonight. And I mean, the duo of him and Simmons has been killing it in this 4th quarter. I mean, this is not the same team we saw in the 3rd. And this really puts Moorpark in. I mean, you got to go for 2 the next 2 attempts that you're out there. And this is just.
You know, the interesting part about this is cool, calm, and collected offense from the Raiders.
It is.
Every time prior to this, it looked like they had forced the football down the field, and it looks ugly because it is ugly. This is comfortable, this is relaxed, and the Raiders are playing a football game that they like. 2 receivers at the top of the screen, and they go to the pitch over the top to Cronquist, and he's trying to run it from the backside. Finds a hole shooting forward. Does he have the line? No! Oh, my goodness!
Oh, he was right there.
The referee had her hands saying no. We'll have a replay of this from the top angle. I don't know if his knee was down.
Are you sure she wasn't saying safe? I mean, he's right on the line. That's a great look at the defense from Ventura. 3 of them just over pursue, but they're all out there, and seems like he's right there. It's a snap judgment call. I mean, that's crucial, and he's right there. He's right there, and but you got to go back. Moorpark, you've cut this now to a 10-point game. Obviously, it could be 1 possession. You're that close. But you got to go with what the call is. You were short. Now it's a situation you got to play like your life depends on it these last 9 minutes because you're right in this game. Your defense got some momentum finally, the turnover. Your offense is firing on all cylinders because you went back to what was working. As you mentioned, Emery, the whole thing, it's comfortable. It is comfortable, and the Raiders are playing very well.
Onside kick falls out of bounds, and the Raiders almost had it.
Well, it would have been good. I mean, Ventura was completely caught off guard. Whoever was the outside returner right there on the front line was sleeping on the job. And that one was 2 yards away, and it all depends on how the football bounces. I mean, if that takes the bounce forward like it had, you're fine. But it takes that bounce, football, oddly shaped, goes straight flat out of bounds. Unfortunate break for Moorpark, and now your defense really has to step up. No more than a field goal.
The football will be placed at the 39-yard line of the Raiders. And like you said, this is do or die for the Raiders defense here. 9:01 on the clock left to go here in the fourth quarter. Pistol formation and a handoff here straight away. And making a run and cutting through is going to be James, and James is into the end zone. Touchdown, Ventura.
It's just dominant. And the run game has absolutely taken over this game for the Pirates. And Moorpark looks lost out there. I mean, first half, they were filling the gaps hard. Look at the over pursuit right there by the safety. That just allows him to spring free. That was not happening. Moorpark was slow playing the run and filling at the perfect opportunity, and they weren't missing tackles. They have thrown all that out the window this second half, and Ventura, against a team like them, a very good team, especially in the run, you can't allow that to happen.
So 51-35 is the scoreline now. Extra point is up and good. So 8:49 on the clock left to go here in the fourth quarter, and the Raiders back to square one. They need to score another touchdown to get within 2 scores.
And it's, don't change anything. There's still time. You still have all 3 timeouts. If you drive down like you have been within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, Ventura gets the ball back, try to make a quick stop. Offense comes back out. You're probably going to need an onside kick or one more turnover if you're going to keep yourself really in this game. Your defense and special teams have to be on their A game from this snap onwards. There's no room for error for the Raiders if they're going to stick within this one.
So a little bit of a change here for the return game of the Raiders. You have Mikey Evans out back to return, as well as, check that, Mikey Holland and Elisha Evans. Out to return for the Raiders. Evans to return from his 20-yard line. Cuts back, makes another move all the way up to the 34.
Well, not bad field position, decent return from Evans. Does what he can, doesn't make any mistake, and he picks up a nice 10 yards in the return. Pass from what a touchback would be as it's on the 35.
The Raiders will take over with 8:42 on the clock to go. It's 52-35.
Well, the good news for Moorpark, you don't have to worry about 2-point conversions really anymore. I mean, if I'm them and you get to the tail end of this game and you score a touchdown potentially, and you could go for the tie, you might want to consider it there. But 17 points, 2 touchdowns, a field goal, all you need.
Croton fires over, hits Moten. Moten's going to be dropped immediately over along the left hash. He's up to the 39-yard line.
And the reason why this short game works in pretty much all situations for Moorpark is they are constantly a no-huddle team. It works well for them because they get back on the ball quick.
2nd and 6 coming up. Line to game will be the 45-yard line. Clock continues to run. That will be the storyline here late in this game. Pass over to Simmons. Simmons makes a move. He's on his feet. Ultimate to the 30. He's down to the 25, and he's finally brought down. My goodness, Simmons have a half of football.
He's having a career day so far. I mean, his high on the season has been 89 yards. He's hit that mark twice. I don't know exactly what he's got, but I guarantee you he's doing a lot better than that.
Croton gets the snap off, and there's a flag. I think Moorpark was set. I don't know if Ventura had everybody on side.
Croton
We'll
thinks
watch
it's
this
against
back.
the Pirates.
Let's watch this back one more time.
There are way too many men on the
Yeah,
field for Ventura.
Ventura just has all their guys on the field.
That is just a scramble for the Pirate defense. And
Wise decision from Croton to actually pay attention to that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a good job by the officials to blow it dead because you have Ventura Pirates running on behind the line of scrimmage. That's one of those situations where you have to blow the whistle.
So a 5-yard penalty will be enforced. It'll be a 1st and 5. Line to gain will be the 13-yard line. Check that, the 12-yard line. Croton, time to throw into the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Well, that would have been 4 for Cronquist.
Yeah, Cronquist was...
And he had him.
Yeah.
He had him there.
Oh, he just had his feet out. That's a scary moment there because that turf is right there along the edge of the end zone.
Yeah.
And
Go right onto the track after that. That's
track is
really
not.
a tough situation. You don't want to end up in that.
2nd and 5 coming up. Landless makes a move, cutting up the field. He gets up to the 15-yard line, and the referee will say he stepped out at the 14. So 1 yard shy of the first down. Line to gain will be the 13.
Big thing, the clock does stop for
It
the
does
Raiders.
stop, yes. 7:38 is officially on the clock.
If you can put your defense back out on the field here with over 6 minutes left, you'll be all right.
The clock is running.
Well, Moorpark's got to have a little bit more sense of urgency. I'm not sure if they know that it started.
And there's going to be movement before the snap as Ventura has shot through the line, offensive line once again.
They're very adamant about the fact that this is on Moorpark. Oh, there's a little flinch
from
from
the center.
54. Yeah, a little bit. And they're going to give it towards Ventura. That's the right call there.
Yeah.
He does flinch a little bit. And unfortunately, all you need is just the tiniest little bit of movement, and that one's going to be called. It's a good eye by the officials there.
Referees are going to blow their whistles again.
They're going to make one of the Raider linemen come out for a play.
And that's Alonzo, number 77, coming out to be replaced by Julian Alfaro. 3rd and 6 coming up. A pass over and blown up to Cronquist. And we'll see what unit comes out.
Well, it's a field goal, and that's the right call here. You need to take the points to give yourself that 2-possession deficit. It's the right call. It just leaves your offense in a tough position where now, I mean, you need those 2 touchdowns. You're going to need them anyways, but now you need them back-to-back. And this isn't the easiest kick in the world for Burke. I mean, this is not a gimme. This is not a chip shot.
From the left hash, it's going to be from the 25-yard line, making it a 35-yard field goal. His long on the season is a 38. High snap, kick is down, and this one is going to be chipped in, just no good.
That's a shank. It looked clunky from the beginning, from the snap to the hold, especially when you saw that hold go down. You can kind of see it's just uncomfortable for the special teams unit. And now that you go for the field goal and you miss it, that's why some teams like to go for it in that situation. Now you just wasted, realistically, you wasted 4 minutes of clock for nothing.
Right.
So you now have to. Turnover is a must in this game, and it has to be quick. I mean, you need a turnover in your own territory to give yourself a chance. Your offense has to have a quick score. I mean, that's if you want a chance, and it's 17 points under 7 minutes. It's looking pretty grim for the Moorpark Raiders.
Pistol formation here for the Pirates. Handoff to Jalen Thompson. He works his way up for a couple yards here. And it should be handoffs all the way here for the Ventura offense, as they're going to not rush anything with 6:26 on the clock ticking down.
Well, this was a game that, in the second half, you got to give Ventura their props. They won this second half, no doubt about it. I mean, they played absolutely almost picture perfect on the offensive side.
Hand off to the other side, and this is another good run here from Thompson, and he's going to have the first down and then some. Up to the 33-yard line.
Well, and I would be surprised if we see a pass for Ventura, unless it's in a third down and long situation and you dial up your best pass play to guarantee a first down if you can. It's going to be running, and I think Moorpark kind of needs to adjust to that if they really want to keep themselves in it. I mean, the clock's just going to tick. You need to get a stop right now, or you're not getting the ball back until 2 minutes left on this drive.
And off again, Thompson breaks off another run of about 9 yards, and at this point, the Moorpark defensive line is looking like they're on their heels.
Yeah, they have no ground to gain. I mean, they're getting pushed backwards instantly. And this, I mean, as we talked about in pregame, it was a veteran offensive line for the Ventura Pirates, and it's showing right now. It showed this entire second half. They really figured it out and changed what they needed to do, and they've got it dialed in. And they're looking to just put this one away and take home the Citrus Cup once again.
Thompson, enough for the first down, all the way up to the 48-yard line. Clock will continue to move down.
Well, now nearing midfield, it's now 2 first downs, I believe, on this drive that have looked almost effortless from Ventura. It's just a matter of when do the proper amount of Raiders get to the ball carrier, and if they do.
And off again to Thompson, working his way on the outside. He's going to be headed towards the side as he jumps over one, and he's hit out of bounds.
Well, that's one they'll put on the highlight reel.
Yep.
Just absolutely hurdles over Javon Evans.
Terrell Rosario making the final tackle there on the outside.
And now they're switching out some of the starters. It's kind of that situation for Moorpark. You had a chance here today, and a chance against Ventura of all teams. You played probably your best quarters of football in the second and fourth quarter that you have the entire season, especially on the offensive end.
And there's going to be Lamont James carrying the football.
James on the carry. Zig Hoots on the stop.
Well, there's Hoots' first time we've called his name tonight.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that game in Alan Hancock, keeping Moorpark within reach. An amazing job against the run on the screen plays tonight. Not seen much action compared. I mean, as you mentioned, on their heels. The Raider defense is really just backing up on this one. It's another quick 8-yard rush.
2nd and 2 coming up from the 31-yard line. Line of game will be the 29, and that's going to be a quarterback keeper as they have a new quarterback in. It's Ezekiel Savage. He has a couple run plays on the season. No other outstanding stats to speak of.
He's quite the big quarterback.
Yeah.
He's definitely the running type there. Just power football through. I mean, now you got dual threats in the backfield. It just makes it, I mean, they could end the game on this drive alone. They could take up all 6 minutes of clock.
I think they're doing exactly that. No 2-minute warning to stop the clock here. And here he goes through the defensive line. Ezekiel Savage might have a first down himself.
Yeah, you're going to get a penalty back late. Safety pancaked one of the Moorpark Raiders and was just driving him his head into the ground afterwards over top of him. It's just not something that you can have. I mean,
Yeah, that's just classic.
at the end of the day, it's a game. I mean, you've won the game. Be happy about that. I mean, let's be realistic. This is over for Moorpark. You're down 17 with 2 minutes. Ventura, there's no need to have that.
So they're going to say
Unsportsmanlike,
penalties.
I believe.
I saw them point towards the Moorpark end zone as well.
After all the penalties were sorted out, the Pirates get penalized more back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, so 3 penalties, 2 by way of the Pirates, 1 by way of the Raiders. So the clock stopped at 2:09, and realistically, if they get another first down, they can end it here.
First and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Well, Moorpark, there are plenty of positives to take away, especially on the offensive side. You figured out your scheme for the rest of the year. You figured out your concept that works. And for Ventura, this is just, it's another year where you got a big confidence boost coming in here and beating Moorpark, and they continue their hot streak. 3 straight wins.
And
for
off to
Ventura.
James. James on the outside. He's going to get wrapped up and dropped. 1 minute and 38 seconds left to go.
They got Willea in the game. He played a lot last week, too, back at safety, and we were a little bit surprised to see him back there, but he made a couple good plays. Makes another one there.
We're about under 1 minute left in this football game. Shotgun snap again. And a tackle trying to be made and running through multiple tackles is going to be
And there's another,
Jake Murphy.
again, it's another play by Ventura way late after. They're just throwing Moorpark players down onto the field, hitting them extremely past the whistle. That's Hoffman. There's no reason to do that. And look at the coaches are going to meet him on the sidelines and talk to him like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean.
There's just no point in, you're just
Historically,
delaying
this makes sense.
it. It does,
to be honest,
but
this makes sense. I've never seen anything like. I've been covering for Moorpark and Ventura College, for that matter, for almost a decade at this point, and this is Ventura style. They're mean. That's how they are. They always have been. They're like a Raiders of the 1980s. It's
And
just a.
there's
and not
nothing
Moorpark
wrong
Raiders.
with
I mean
being-
Oakland Raiders.
there's nothing wrong with being mean and aggressive. It is football, but when you have the game won and you're trying to chew clock, there's no reason to do it. I mean, you already have 10 personal foul penalties this game. Why get more? I mean, just get everybody out of here.
Yeah, this game could be over by now.
It should have been over a long time ago, but we keep having these penalties that stop the game for a while because the officials have so much to sort out. And there's a fine line between, and there is penalties on Moorpark too. I
Yeah,
mean, they're
absolutely.
chipping right back, but it ends up being the situation where there's a difference between, as you said, Emery, Ventura's a mean team. There's a difference between that, and there's a difference between pointless penalties that just, there's no point in doing it. You're not sending a message to anybody. You're not flexing your muscles, making anybody think higher of you or thinking that you are, there's just no point to it.
Well, Ventura will play again. Savage working his way up through the line, and he will be dropped at what looks to be the 7-yard line.
I think the coaches of Ventura kind of just want to get out of this one as well.
Yeah, if they were to play one more play, I have a feeling that this might get out of hand really quick.
Yeah,
And that
they're
will
just
be-
going to take their win, which was well-deserved. They played very hard tonight, and they absolutely dominated the second half. But there's just no point with the penalties if your players are going to go out there and make pointless plays like that.
So final score, 52-35. Ventura takes the 55th version of the Citrus Cup. And we are happy to bring that coverage to you guys. You're watching Raider Football on SoCal College Sports. This has all been brought to you in part by UCLA Health. We can't do it without their help. And everybody, we bid a good evening to you all.